having some technical issues here. The YouTube stream will be up and about. You can go over there and listen to the actual space as well too. So yeah, man, we're gonna we're gonna talk about it. I want you guys. We have up here as one of the speakers tonight, Guardian. Guardian reached out to me. He's of Jamaican background. He wanted to have this conversation tonight. He DM'd me and asked, was it possible? And I told him, I said, well, yeah, we can go ahead and do it. I've never had a space on the actual word tether before, so I just want to see how this is going to go tonight. So I know this should be a pretty good space, guys. So Guardian, I'm gonna let you go ahead and I know we got some of our people that are not up in here yet, but they'll be coming up in the space as well. Y'all make sure y'all tweet the space out as well too, man. And Guardian, if you want to go ahead, as the room is starting to fill up now, we got some people up in here. We can start kind of having that conversation right now. Like I say, shout out to everybody coming up in the space as well too. Monday night, Twitter space, Newstoter, the largest black owned curation media platform today in America, the number one curation media platform today in America. And this is all my people up in here. As always, I see you guys up in here, so it's good to be back. I had a little break, extended little break, but for a few days, not that extended, maybe about 4 days, Professor. But I'm back. I'm back as always. So we intend on having this thing live. Professor, you want to say something real quick before I go and let Guardian get it in?
Well, I just want to say welcome back, Total Man. Definitely miss you, brother, and but you needed some time away too, and so I'm glad to see you back up in here, and this is gonna be a great topic tonight, Guardian. Great choice, man. I'm glad you reached out on that, and I just want to say shout out to all the family up in this space tonight. Let's get in some good discussion. Let's try to keep if we can, I know it might get a little testy, but let's try to not do any cussing. And I'm speaking about myself too, y'all. So we're gonna try to maintain this thing with some order. Everybody just try to, be decent, have some decorum, and just make it a very good discussion tonight.
All right, Volvo, I'm gonna let you go ahead and say something real quick, and then I'm gonna let Guardian, since Guardian want to actually hold this space and conversate on it, I'm gonna let you say something real quick, Volvo, and then we're gonna hear what Guardian has to say. You got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real quick. Let's just remember this though: words have meaning, and you got to put words into context.
All right, appreciate that. Guardian, go ahead and share with me. And Cognitive, shout out to you, bro. Like I said before you got in the space, shout out to Cognitive and thank you for your donation earlier today, bro. I appreciate that. But Guardian, like I say, since you wanted to hold this space and you want to give your side of what you feel about the word tether and how it impacts the diaspora and immigrants, black immigrants in particular, go ahead and share with me and share with this space in the room exactly your feelings and your thoughts behind that. And everybody, like I say, y'all chill and let him go ahead and speak it in. And if you want to speak, raise your hand. And for those that's in the listener section, if you want to speak, go ahead and request to speak, and we'll get you up here like we always do. Go ahead, Guardian.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I appreciate it very much. Okay, so what I'd like to do is to start with a little history, okay, about the issue of tribalism, all right? So, as far as I'm concerned, tribalism, from my study of history, tribalism was necessary to colonize Africa and to colonize America. All right. The Europeans routinely used tribalism to divide up groups, get groups to fight each other. They got Indians to fight each other, right? And then they end up taking up the whole land and making all the rules for all the Indians. Okay. So tribalism, even today, to this day, you'll hear the Native Americans saying that they should be tribe first. All right. Now let me just give you a little history, just maybe one example of tribalism in Africa. When the Belgians, right, or the Belgians, when they colonized Burundi and Rwanda, they found black people. They found the Hutu and the Tutsi. The Hutu and the Tutsi were the same group of people, okay? But the Tutsi was simply a class distinction when you are now an owner of cattle. That was the only distinction, okay? But the Belgians came in and they decided to be mischievous. They separated the people according to their physical features. They measured the length of the nose, the length of the skulls, of different parts of the bodies to make sure that people, and then they segregated them into different groups, and they tried to create a whole new ethnic group, and they were successful. They gave one group privilege, and they took away privilege from another group, right? And they made initially, like, they kept on flipping it. They made the Tutsi in charge of the Hutu, and then right before they left, they made the Hutu in charge of the Tutsi, and it became a war, right? And so these folk were now fighting against each other. They had this ID card that the Europeans gave them to say this one belonged to that group and the other one belonged to the other group, and they fought, and then people died. Okay, now when the Americans came in, the Americans and the French, they started to play them against each other. The French actually supplied the Hutu with all kinds of machetes and things like that, leading up to the Rwandan genocide. And the Americans were supplying the Tutsi, okay, with all sorts of weapons so that they would fight each other. And so it's believed, some people say that it was the U.S. military that actually shot down the Hutu president's plane in the sky in front of everyone, and they got each other to kill each other. All right, they got them to kill each other, and almost 1 million died in just about 1 month or so, right? And they continued. The tribalism has continually been used to infiltrate and to destroy communities. Now, of course, with that tribalism came very offensive words that became slurs, okay? And that fueled the animosity between groups. And all it was is just the European trying to, deceptively, devilishly, right, trick them into killing each other. This type of tribalism happened all over Africa as well. They did it in South Africa as well. In South Africa, there was a group, they used tribalism. As a matter of fact, the South African army, whenever they wanted to go into a place to attack it and take control, the white South Africans, they would tell their black South African soldiers, come on with it, brother. Come on with it, brother. Yeah, going real long.
Hey, come on, Volvo. Come on now. Now, I just said that we didn't want anybody coming off the mic, and then when somebody comes off the mic while you speaking, let me give everybody a warning tonight too. While somebody's speaking, do not come off your microphone.
Okay. So basically, the South African army got their black people to learn how to sabotage black communities with the tribalism, all right? So the European has been using tribalism all over Africa, as well as in the conquest of America, the United States of America. So what we see happening right now is the tribalism. We see people instigating tribalism, all right, between Black Americans versus West Indians and so on. But one of the interesting things that you need to know about, for example, Black Americans and West Indians, is that Black Americans, like during slavery, it is documented that thousands of Black American slaves were transferred to Jamaica, to the Caribbean, to various places. You understand? So those people who were in slavery here ended up being in slavery down there. All right? So the story is that we are really all the same people. and we come through the same experiences of colonization and slavery. Now, when we use the word tether, it's like it's an offensive term. Okay, if you go to Chat GPT, all right, and you ask them, did Tariq Nasheed popularize the word tether? Chat GPT says, yeah. Tariq Nasheed was the one who popularizes this term, and it is classified as an offensive word. Okay, so we are really all one people. We should not allow Cointelpro type strategies to divide us. Let us not allow them to play us for a fool. Okay, let us not throw around these terms that are offensive. All right, because like with
Guardian, I do got to kind of, because you are going for a minute, so I do need to kind of let some of the other speakers go. So let me give you about 40 seconds to wind it down, and then let me go to Volvo as well.
Yeah, 40 seconds. So we would like to think that we have learned something, and we're not going to just follow primitive tribalism. Okay, we want to be better than that. We're supposed to be more educated and more knowledgeable of the history of oppression and not fall into it. All right, so I say we don't use the word tether. It's very offensive. Okay, that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna let Volvo say it now. I do want to say something, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Volvo actually go ahead. So Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Guardian, you're not getting none of these reparations, period. Forget about it. Get it out of your mind. That's for one. For two, we ain't nothing wrong with tribalism. I'm with the on code tribe, the tribe that's on code. You with that's the problem that we having. Don't tell us about no tribalism. Don't talk down to us like we don't know. We the one taught you. You didn't know this in Jamaica. Y'all don't talk about this stuff in Jamaica. Y'all get around us and start talking this. So don't talk down to us like we don't know what's going on. We the ones taught you.
All right. Let me say this part right here, Guardian. I get what you're saying about the situation that you had out there and some of the genocide that happened in Africa, but you would have to agree that tribalism, even before you had the Arabs, even before you had the Europeans step foot on the African continent, you've always had tribalism. You had tribalism in every part of the world, whether it was in Europe, Asia, Australia, wherever. You've always had tribalism. Now, I get what you're saying, that the Europeans came and they sought to conquer, and they used each other. They used people to go against each other and stuff like that. And we often hear that with the slave trade and colonization and everything else that happened, that that they were able to divide and conquer. But you also had to have some willing participants as well too. Now you had some people, you had tribes and stuff that had beef with each other, and they were pretty much able to capitalize on that, because they couldn't stand each other. So I get what you're saying on that. Another thing I want to add here too, Volvo, and I'm gonna let you, Guardian, speak on this as well too. Okay, like I say, I myself, I don't use the word tether. But, I know a lot of people that do use the word tether, but at the same time, I don't really hear the same argument for the word tether that I hear for Akata. And being from Florida, I can tell you straight up, there are a number of Caribbean people, especially Jamaican, that used to refer to Black Americans as Yankees in a derogatory term. I think out there in East Africa, I could be wrong how they pronounce it. I think it's a term called Jarir. Like, it's a term for Black Americans. I don't give a damn what part of the world you come from, whether you're a Black immigrant or an immigrant, period. There's like some kind of negative term for Black people, Black Americans in particular. So I don't really hear the same type of the same type of energy when it comes to, hey, why are you calling Black Americans this? Why are you calling Black Americans that? For the simple fact that so many people around the world, especially Black immigrants, come into America, and they come into this melting pot of America, yet they go ahead and infuse themselves into Black culture. So I don't really see that. Like, as a Black American, Black Americans for the most part don't go into other places and infuse themselves into the culture of Nigeria, the Caribbean, or wherever, as compared to how people come here in America and they're dressing in terms of hip hop, they're singing, they love the movie stars, they love the entertainers, they love the sports stars, they love everything, about being a Black American. At the same time, they're, a lot of them, and I'm not going to say all of them, a significant number of them, because I did grow up in Florida, and let me just say this, I have been around a bunch of Caribbean people that was cool as hell. I know a bunch of Caribbean people that I consider almost like family, and I never had any issue with them. At the same time, with anything else, I do know some Caribbean people that had issues with Black people. They talk about you didn't speak the King's English and you didn't do this and you didn't do that or whatever, and you didn't free yourself and all this other kind of ridiculous stuff. I would say a good number of the Caribbean people I met were not like that, but you did have that segment that had that nose up in the air about Black Americans. So I don't hear the same type of thing. And I had some friends. I was really close with with Jamaicans and Haitians here in Florida, because you can't help but be, especially if you grow up in South Florida, which I did. And I went to school with them, grew up with them, played ball with them, hung out with them, everything else. You know what I'm saying? And, when I get to talking, I used to always ask, because I used to hear older Black people talk about, a lot of Caribbeans and a lot of Black immigrants, they don't like Black Americans. So I would ask them, I said, well, is it true that your parents and your grandparents and stuff say negative things about Black Americans being lazy and this and that? And they would, to a T, they would say, yeah. Like, yeah, a lot of them think that Black Americans are lazy and that you guys just waste opportunities and that you guys, that you complain too much and you don't work hard enough and stuff like that. So, you heard that. I heard that from them talking about their own parents, people that I consider and people that were my friends and stuff. And when their parents see me, they'd be like, hey, how you doing? And this and that. And their parents never had an issue with me, but a number of them would say, hey, yeah, we do feel that way. Our people do feel that way about Black Americans, that you just squander too many opportunities and you don't work hard enough and you use racism as a crutch and you have people come to this country and they outwork you and stuff like that. So, just from that perspective, and like I said, I want to make this abundantly clear. I know a number of Caribbean Black people that I was cool with, grew up with, did not feel this way. I know a number of them that did not feel this way. I do know a decent amount that did feel this way, and I can say firsthand, as a young child, back in the late 80s, going to a church that was mainly Caribbean, the Caribbean people at that church didn't treat us any different. My family was the only Black American family that they didn't treat us any different. They respected us. They treated us cool and stuff. They invited you over to the house, treated you just like he was one of their family members. Somewhere along the line, though, that started to switch. It started to change out in the 90s, because these people here, these Caribbean people that I came across, they were the actually first sign of middle-class Black people that I actually saw in my lifetime. They were the first ones. They in that day and age, in 87, 88, you're talking about families that was making $75,000, $80,000 a year. So you could put that into the actual amount today. They were living a good life. And they used to invite me over. They used to have us over at the church, because at that time, my mom was a 7-day Adventist and this and that. So they used to bring us over. You used to have to eat the Caribbean food. I used to tell them, I don't like this. This is nasty. They go, oh, no, it's not nasty. You may not like it, but it's good. And they were cool people. Like I said, most of the people that I met growing up were cool, but there were those that were not cool. Those, and it was a lot of Jamaican women be running their mouth in a class full of white kids sitting up here calling us Yankees, telling white folks that, hey, Jamaicans don't like Black Americans and this and that or whatever. And I'm sitting up here, and one of the girls standing up here was my friend's, one of my good friend's sisters. She's sitting up here. Now, her brother never said anything like that, but she's sitting up in a classroom full of white kids, running us down, running Black America. And the white kids like, oh, wow, for real? I didn't know that. So, she went out of her way to go ahead and say, hey, yeah, there is tribalism. And mind you, we're in the 8th grade. Okay. She went out of her way to let white kids know that, hey, we don't like them. We don't rock with them. So, I hear what you're saying, Guardian, and this is going to be a good conversation. Like I said, we're going to show some respect tonight, everybody. I'm going to be honest. DJ, I see you up in the space as well, too. I kind of lost the order of the hands, but I'm going to let you actually go, Guardian, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get to I see Brooke up in here, Stephanie, Ray, Volvo. I'm gonna get to you again, but I'm gonna let you go, Guardian, actually say something, so then we can have our listeners come in here and they can actually respond, raise their hand as well too. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and share the room out as well too.
Thank you. Okay, so let me say it like this, right? The human mind, right, focuses on the negative information that it receives a little bit more than the positive information, okay? You can tell some young ladies, for example, all kind of positive things, but the minute she hears that negative thing, she focuses on that negative thing. And so that's kind of like what happens in our experience with this topic. You might know a whole lot of, West Indians and so on who might be very, some of them might be quiet on the issue because they just don't, it's not an issue to them, right? But then when you get that one or two or whoever it is, they could be as foolish as whatever, they could be as slow as whatever, but the human mind, the natural instinct is to focus on the negative thing and really amplify it. So that's what's really going on, okay? In reality, Black people Black Americans, West Indians and so on, are the same people. You see them winning the races together, the sprints and stuff like that, Now, let me tell you how this attitude developed, okay? So Cointelpro operated in the immigration offices, and Cointelpro was telling all Black immigrants to America telling them that Black people did all the crime. Okay, so in my mother's situation, they told her this. They started at the office, the immigration office, and then my mother got into a college, right? And then, and out of the blue, the people who were her administrators pulled her aside and told her that they prefer working with the West Indians, the Jamaicans, right? Just out of the blue sky. And then when my mother got her job, right, at a hospital, the white administrator once again pulled her out to the side, out of the clear blue, and was telling her that they like working with the Jamaicans and so on because they're hardworking. All of those things are not accidents. You all hear the videos on YouTube. You will listen to Sudanese telling you the same story. They will tell you that at the immigration office, the people start to tell lies about Black people. They say Black people are responsible for 90%, 100% of all the crimes in America, right? And we know that's not true. White Americans are 70% of people who are arrested every single year, and the number should be way higher than that. So I just wanted to just to summarize, the human mind focuses on the negative content. There might be a whole lot of positive, but then we have a tendency to amplify. It's evolutionary instincts, to pay attention to the negative thing. But in reality, Black people, come on, we got what's his name, Bob Marley and stuff like that, extremely conscious, legendary figures. Of course, you got Marcus Garvey Jr., legendary, trying to uplift Black people. And once again, we should not allow Cointelpro to manipulate us. You understand? At the immigration office, anytime that I hear of a West Indians or so say something bad about Black Americans who they don't even know, this is normally the most ignorant member of the community, all right? But people are going to amplify and focus on that. So I just want to say it's not real. Don't let Cointelpro trick you, trick us. Don't let Cointelpro trick the West Indian and the foolish one, and then that foolish one comes and agitates you. We are all one people. All right, that's it.
All right, appreciate that. Let me go ahead and guys, I might messed up the order because I was speaking, but I'm gonna go and if I'm wrong, correct me. But Stephanie, Ray, Brooke, and Volvo, I'm gonna let you go last since you spoke a couple times, but we're gonna go Stephanie, Ray, Brooke, and Volvo. Stephanie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
No, you can let Volvo go first. It's not a problem. He put his hand up first, so I want to be fair.
All right, Volvo, then you go first.
Well, real fast. What makes us all Black? Just quick so long-winded, brother? What makes us all the same people?
Okay, so the literature says that thousands of Black American slaves were transferred to Jamaica, to the islands, right? And we know thousands went to Haiti. We know some slaves from America went down
All right. Okay, I understand. I just want that quick answer. Bro, you full of shit with all that babbling, bro. That was nonsense. You're saying a whole bunch of nothing. You Jamaican, brother. Period. We from the plantation here. I think you in the wrong space with that Pan-African stuff. Period. You in the wrong space with that, bro. That's not gonna work, bro. That's over with. That's over with. You can't finesse us. We've been finessed enough. That's it, brother. We don't know. We know where we're from. That's what we're trying to tell y'all. And I think you understand that. We know where we're from. We can trace our lineage back hundreds of years. We don't trace back to no Caribbean. You do. That's your business. That's something different. Like that's something different. As far as the word tether, right? Are you acting like a tether? Right now, you acting like a tether. That's why we say that you not just the fact that you Jamaican. No, you trying to tether on the niggas. You trying to lasso on the niggas. You like a cowboy with the rope. You trying to rope niggas. No, you trying to tether on. That's what makes you a tether, not the fact that you just a Jamaican that exists. That's why I said words have context. You got to keep the word in context. Is it a derogatory term? I mean, yeah, I guess, but it's a descriptive term too. We describing somebody that's trying to latch on to us, not the fact that you just Jamaican and you exist. No, you trying to latch on and undermine niggas. Is you trying to convince us that we all the same people? That we all black, we all share the same skin tone and all that. But y'all ain't in Jamaica talking about we all the same people. Ain't no Jamaicans over there in Jamaica inviting us over there and saying we all the same people. No, they talking about stay away from Black Americans. I didn't grow up around no Jamaican. That ain't my story. You know what I mean? But as an adult, I've dealt with Jamaicans, and Jamaicans don't really like Black Americans. Period. I can tell they didn't like me. I ain't never did nothing to them. I ain't grew up around them at all. I grew up in a red line neighborhood. It wasn't no Jamaicans up there. They weren't that wasn't there. I grew up in the Midwest. So, you know, it wasn't no Jamaicans around me. So that's far as the word tether. I'm gonna close with this. I don't want to go too long. Words have context. When my sister and my cousins talking about bitch, you wearing that dress? I can't come in there and be like, bitch, yeah, you wearing that dress? They gonna be like, what the fuck wrong with you? Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck? You know, I'm gonna be a goofy. Words have context. You gotta keep the words in context. You know what I'm saying? If I tell my girlfriend, you a bad bitch, she gonna say, yeah, I know. Damn, girl, you wearing that dress, we gonna look good tonight. You look like a bad bitch. But if I say it in another way, bitch, make me smash. She gonna say, nigga, who the fuck you talking to like that? Words we gotta keep it in context. So I don't know, bro. Like you ain't explain. You off topic. You taking the conversation somewhere else. Stay on the topic. Why you say we shouldn't stop saying that Cointelpro stuff? This is not no Cointelpro operation. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about no Cointelpro. We do. That was for us.
All right, Volvo, appreciate it. Let me go ahead, Stephanie. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, thank you. Shout out to you and the entire chat for having this space. This is a very touchy subject. Being a person that lives in New York City and has experienced a lot of xenophobia from certain groups, okay, that so-called look like us. Well, they say they look like us. This is not an easy pill to swallow, okay? And this goes to, I don't know what's happening on your side of the spectrum, but I can give you my experiences. I can give you the experience of my mother. I can give you the experiences of my aunt, okay? My mother got fired from her job because she was the only Black American in that sector. Everybody else was from some other country, Black nation, okay? And everything was Yankee this, Yankee that. Black Americans are this, Black Americans are that, okay? My mother spoke back and she started arguing. That's what happened. She gets fired, okay? My aunt, same thing. But this time, my aunt was going to punch somebody in the face. So she got fired. So you cannot sit up here and talk about it's only us. The problem is that everybody come here and they think automatically that they are better than us, okay? As far as people saying, okay, well, I like them, the white people saying that they like y'all better. I'm going to tell you something. I had an appointment with the doctor, right? Now, the hospital that I went to, that I go for my appointments, everybody in here is from some type of Caribbean or African nation, right? When the doctor sat me in his office and he asked me where was I from, I said I was American. He asked me where my parents was from, I said my parents were from the South. He was like, oh, thank God. Okay? That's what came out of that man's mouth. He said, oh, thank God. He said, I don't think there's nobody left in their country, in Jamaica. This is what this man said to me. So if you sit up there and think that the white man likes y'all better, you are in for a rude awakening. Okay? Number two, people like that from these nations, they get these human resources jobs and they openly discriminate against Black Americans. And please don't tell me I'm lying because I've seen it for myself and I've heard the stories. So you cannot sit up here and feed me garbage and tell me it's sugar. Okay? I know all of this firsthand. I was discriminated against for an apartment, looking for a place. And this woman said, oh, you sound like a nice Caribbean girl. I said, no, my family's from the South. Okay, I'll call you back. Never call me back. These are the issues that we have with you guys. You guys have a tendency to look down on the same people that you say look just like you. And it's really frustrating. And this is what's making Black people in a whole, Black Americans specifically, say, you know what? Enough of this. I'm sick and tired. I don't want anything to do with these people anymore. I don't want to work around them. I don't want to be around them. Nothing. And this is by you guys doing. This is by you guys doing. Y'all practice nepotism on these jobs. Y'all get us off these jobs. And then you sit up there and you put somebody else in there that's from your country. And y'all do this all the time. Okay? And it's not the word Yankee. It's dirty, stinking Yankee. That's the term that y'all like.
Hey, real quick, Stephanie, real quick. Hey, I just removed Mimi. Do not allow Mimi to come up here and speak. Straight up. I don't want to hear Mimi shit tonight. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay. Yeah, so this is what we have to constantly keep dealing with. So please don't sit up here and say that, you know, we're the ones that's doing this. Like I said, they don't like you either. So if you sit up here and think that they like you better, like I said, you got enough thing coming. They don't. They literally don't. So I don't know what else to tell you. All I can say is I was here. I experienced a lot of stuff here. I got a lot of great friends that's from the Caribbean. I got a lot of great friends that's from the continent. Okay? My best friend is from the island of Jamaica. Beautiful person inside and out. We're like sisters. And she even calls out this nonsense. When you got other people insulting us, or insulting Black Americans, I don't see one Jamaican sitting up there and saying, you know, this is wrong. We shouldn't do this. Because I have great friends that's American. Okay? Or they fought for our rights to get here. Okay? Black churches took up collections for the first Black immigrants to come here and get an education because we thought you were going to ally with us. And turn around, you did the complete opposite. Okay? You got other people from other countries that's sitting up here and co-signing policies against Black Americans themselves. But you want to sit up here and focus on the word tether? That's what the whole focus is about? As long as people call us these type of names, and you got problems and situations going on back home in your prospective countries, then guess what? That word tether is not going to go anywhere. And besides, Tariq is not, so his name should be brought up. You know what I'm saying? If you got smoke for him, why don't you add him and say, hey, let's have a debate on the space? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good people in this room, and it's so sad because there's a lot of good people in the diaspora, and they're caught in the middle because of some ignorant folks on all ends. But mainly, nobody talks about the YouTube videos y'all be doing. disparaging black people's food, black people's culture. You got Busta Rhymes outright disrespecting black Americans. You got Fat Joe disrespecting black Americans. And I don't hear one person saying anything about it. Not one person. But you sit up here and you concern yourself with the word Tether. That makes a lot of sense, don't it? Address the people from your community before you come here and you want to make those remarks about us. That's all we're saying. And like I said, you wonder why black Americans are saying disaggregation and delineation. It's because it's coming from you guys in. And y'all need to do something about it to try to repair it. Because the tribalism at this point has gone beyond the point of any type of repair. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Let me go ahead and get to Brooke. Brooke, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello. Hi. How's everybody doing tonight?
What's up, Brooke?
Hey, I had to come off of YouTube for this one. And this is something that this topic has been on my mind and has the universe, the ancestors have really been laying a message on my heart regarding this. And I just want to give kudos to you, Newstoter, for, having this dialogue. Because the fact that we are even considering their feelings only solidifies what I believe is a fact that we are the most humane people on this planet.
Now, real quick, Brooke, I want to go ahead and say that it was Guardian. Guardian hit me up and asked me about this topic here, and I told him, I said, well, you know what? We can have a discussion around this. I said, we can do a Twitter space around it. So Guardian actually came to me about the topic. And I said, well, you know what? Cause he is of Jamaican ancestry. So I said, you know what, Guardian, we can go ahead and have this actual topic, but go ahead, Brooke, not to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, that's still good though. Okay. Well, then slight pivot. I mean, we're still the most humane people on the planet. And I think the fact that, they're not trying to have a discussion about why to stop calling us cicadas. And pretty much, let's be real, we have given and put ourselves last for so long that literally we are approximately 50 million people that are generating the funds and the month, foreign aid for 8 billion people. There are 8 billion people on this earth right now. And they're all feeding off of us. And so their complaint, of course they're going to complain if we're going to cut off their livelihood. Of course they're going to be like, hey, you guys are hurting our feelings. We need to stop caring about hurting their feelings. Stop caring about how other people see us. Just laugh in their face. It's time to just literally, when a Karen approaches you or tries to gaslight you and says things about, you guys suck, or, even this guy, just say that we're all one. That's hilarious. Ha 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 ha. Because there's an entire continent of people there who are all brown skinned, who indeed are not one. So ha 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 ha. And you immigrants are here to live under our colonizer. They enjoy the oppression that we're trapped under. So there's no way that we'll ever see eye to eye on things regarding, immigration or calling a tether a name. Of course you're not going to like it. You guys have a list of names to call us. This one thing is you've been taught to, let me say that white people are not emotionally as intelligent and don't have the common sense that they think they have. Their arrogance overshadows their intelligence. And they've taught you guys, they've taught immigrants that And so that's what we're dealing with on a daily basis, and that's how they feel about us. They don't give two fucks about us. They don't care about us. And we just laugh in their face and stop caring about them. And that's the end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to I'm sorry, not Dana. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brooke. I meant to say Brooke. Let me go ahead and get to let me get the black majority of the state. And real quick, before I get to black, let me give a shout out to Dewan too. Dewan, thank you for your contribution on Cash App.
Okay. Hello, Newstoter. Hello to the people in the space.
What up, bro? What up?
What's up?
What's going on, DJ Professor? So I went to the brother Guardian's profile, and I'm blocked from actually looking at his profile, but I never really interacted with this account. I think I've seen it in some of these spaces a couple of times, but I wanted to ask the Guardian if what does he feel Black Americans have done for foreign immigrants? What was the most beneficial thing that Black Americans have done for the diaspora? And then I have a follow-up question to that.
Wait, repeat the question.
Yeah, from the diaspora's point of view, what do you think is the most beneficial thing that Black America has done for the diaspora?
Let me see. Well, yeah, I mean, the Black American experience informs us, it educates us. Certain, achievements were made in terms of civil rights and things of that nature. There have been many Black American heroes that we look up to, even though y'all fell out of favor with Ben Carson. Ben Carson's a fellow, but the point that I'm making though is that 2000 from 1660 to 1739, more than 2,000 slaves were shipped from New York to Jamaica on 100 voyages, right? And that there's a lot of Black American slaves who ended up in Jamaica. You understand? So it's like when you say we're different people, a lot of us, went down there. So we are the same people for that reason.
Okay, and just a quick follow-up. And yeah, there was a lot of Western Hemisphere traveling of Black American enslaved peoples up and down the coastline into the Caribbean. So I agree with that. But this is the follow-up question. What do you believe is the most significant thing that the diaspora has done for Black America? The reverse of the previous question.
Sure. Okay. So the diaspora has contributed a lot to Black American. Let's say in terms of there's a lot of military generals who came from Jamaica, like Colin Powell, 5-star general, chief of all the United States military. There are Marine generals right now from the West Indies. There's people like Stokely Carmichael, some of your greatest civil rights activists, and Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X. His mother was, I believe, from St. Vincent or something like that. So there.
Grenada.
From Grenada. Okay. And so there have been a lot of Black people in various positions in terms of being doctors, in terms of being university presidents and things of that nature. Right now, a Harvard University president, she is a Haitian American woman, right? President of the whole Harvard University. But the thing is that we make this contribution and we make the United States a better place, a safer place for Black Americans by just occupying all these really high positions. You understand what I'm saying? Not all occupy extremely high positions. Some occupy, those positions where they're the cooks and things like that. But all together, all of those contributions help to make it a safer place and contribute to what Black people are, and helps us to stand tall as a people. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. So, man, I'm gonna try to give you some credit. Malcolm X is one of, I think, everybody's hero. So we do claim him as our own. But let me say this. There's a term called B1 that I was introduced to by the new Black media. B1, I had never heard of it before, did not know what it meant. And I was in a space where it was explained to me that it's not Pan-Africanism, but it is the diasporans who put Black first. And I said to the people after that space, I don't have time to figure out who those people are. Show me who they are. Tell me who they are. If I trust you, I will trust that this person is who you say they are. The problem that Black America is under today is that we are literally under a invasion of everybody from around the planet. And we don't have time to figure out if you are on our side or not, because the history of the diaspora in this country has been to be very selfish in the way in which they operate in the country. Many people have expressed that they thought that they were coming over here to help us. The reality is that they were coming over here to help themselves. So today, as we are under economic war, political war, and every other war that we could possibly imagine, we just can't figure out who is the good Black diasporan person from who is the bad Black diasporan person, because we are literally in a position of survival. And so what we need are allies who are sacrificial in their allyship, not words, not, oh, by the way, Colin Powell was from this country and he helps the United States, so somehow we're going to transfer that over to Black people, because that doesn't help Black people at all. If you truly are concerned about this word tether, which the meaning of the word literally means to attach yourself to somebody or something and use that as a way to pull yourself up. So the word is valid in its usage, and it's not derogatory. It's just stating fact. If you want to be an ally, be sacrificial. Be willing to sacrifice something for Black America. I'll end on that.
Okay, real quick, guys, I want to say this because we got a bunch of people trying to come up. So we're going to start dropping some speakers and trying to go ahead so we can bring other people up as well, too. So those that spoke, we're going to start dropping people down. If you want to speak, you can always come back up, request to come back up. But we're going to start dropping some speakers down so we can go ahead and bring other people up as well, too. I see we got a couple people requesting right now. So let me go ahead and get Ray and Fred up here. And then, like I say, as you know, we're gonna leave Guardian up here. Since Guardian, you know, he's one of the guest speakers for tonight. We're gonna go ahead and leave him up here, but we are gonna drop people down because we have a bunch of people that's been requesting to come up, and we only got 10 spots, and one of them is taken. So that's how we're gonna roll tonight. I see we got Shepherd Wolf up in the spot. Long time no see, Shepherd. I didn't even know you were still on the app.
Hey, peace, brother. Yeah, I've been off the app for like 6 months. Peace. How's everybody doing?
What's up now?
All right. Yeah.
What's going on, Shepherd? What's up?
Man. Hey, peace, brothers. Peace, everybody. This is a good topic, man. You know, the brother said words have context, so that's true. Let's go with that for a minute. The word akata and the word tether both have context, and they both mean different things. You could tether an animal. You could tether a slave. You can tether your phone to another phone, all different contexts. And you could call somebody an anchor tether, like the Republicans used to say as a diss. You're an anchor baby. You know, a tether is another meaning for an anchor child, as well as a derogatory kind of name for people who aren't on code, as you would say. And it's the same thing with a kata. Kata got 20 different meanings. One is foreigner. And foreigner is looked at as disrespectful sometimes in countries because foreigners have been going to countries and exploiting them. All type of foreigners. So when the word akata is used towards Black Americans, when it's used in country, when we're visiting countries, it may be disrespectful. But then the word akata also means foreigner in a non-disrespectful way, depending on who's saying it and how they say it. So words have meaning, words have context. And that was the main point what that speaker was saying. I agree 100%. Would I use the word tether? Nah, that's not how I rock out, because I would probably only use that word if I was trying to be disrespectful. You know, if I was trying to hurt somebody's feelings or belittle them or make them feel less than human or like they don't belong. So I would use that word. That's not a word that's going to ever be in my vocabulary. One reason I don't rock with that word, even though if you do, whatever, is because it's too closely tied to slavery for me. We would literally tether to each other in chains. Like they literally made money forging iron shops and ironsmiths. The Irish, the Italians, Jews owned iron factories where they made money tethering us together and making sure we couldn't escape because we was property. So I would never use that word for anybody else that's melanated because it's too closely associated with the trauma that we've all gone through. Whether you were tethered in the Caribbean and taken from New York or whatever. So nah, that's not ever gonna be in my vocabulary. I'm not gonna teach my children to say that either. So, that's not the word that I would use. A lot of people I find comfort in that word as an attack word have negative experiences with Caribbean people or people from Africa. A few people who are using that word have African ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, and shit like that. Or they live up north where they're having a lot of experiences with Africans and Caribbeans that are not good experiences. But I would counter those bad experiences with saying it's Black Americans in the Divine Nine and in sororities and fraternities that's been shutting out regular, everyday, blue-collar Black Americans from opportunities and exploiting us. And those are our own people. Black Americans that are in these sororities, who are these judges that are sentencing our children to all of these fucking life sentences and working this corrupt political system and prison to pipeline. They're sending babies. The Black Americans are sending other Black Americans to prison. And now there's a secret society of the real tethers. Really, if you really want to look at it, they the one tethered to white society. Don't want nobody but other fraternities and sororities to rise up higher. And they stick together the same way y'all putting that shit on Caribbeans and Africans for sticking together because they have their separate language. These sororities and fraternities of Black Americans have their own separate language. You can't even get in politics. You can't even get to become a judge. You can't even become a Black Supreme Court judge if you're not a Delta. You can't be the vice president if you're not an AKA. See what I'm saying? Like, so there's a whole other group of tethers that y'all don't really have a lot of smoke for, like specifically at Divine Nine and those tethers and those people who want to be the advisors of the king. You know what I'm saying? The Boule and those exact type of Black Americans who have 400 years of history. So there's a lot of smoke for tethers. There's a lot of type of tethers too. So I just want to get off of one thing. What have Caribbeans and Africans done? The diaspora for Black Americans and in our land. Lift every voice and sing. I believe it was written by Dunbar, Caribbean brother. Lift every voice and sing. Our Black American national anthem that I was singing when I was a kid in school that gave me pride of my history and my race was written by somebody y'all would call a tether. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Harry Belafonte and the other brother, the dark-skinned brother who slapped the white man on TV for the first time a Black man had ever slapped a white man on TV. The dark-skinned brother, Robeson.
Talk about Sidney Poitier?
Yeah. They call him Tether. And he did something for Black America that made Black America's proud as fuck. Like, he's the first one to ever put hands on a white motherfucker in the whole history of TV. Like, there's a lot of people that we would call tethers that, oh, one of my favorites, and she knew my grandmother, Shirley Chisholm, is a Tether. If you want to really get down, she was the first person for Black Americans who ran for a president. And not only that, when she was a senator or congresswoman, she was the first one in our Black neighborhood in Bed-Stuy that was fighting for Black Americans to just get our trash picked up like everybody else. They was leaving our trash on the streets in the whole borough of New York. We couldn't even get trash service. Like, that's why there was so many rats and fucking diseases in our community. So I could go down a long ass motherfucking list. Biggie Smalls is fucking Tether in y'all book. Matter of fact, I give you one more. Fucking the mother from Good Times is a Tether. Y'all are like tripping. Y'all don't want to go down that list and really say, damn, all these icons, really, a lot of these icons is really not even from, not even Black Americans by birth. So it's hard to go down that list. You just got to take people as who they are, one person at a time, man. We start grouping each other together, that shit is fucked up. I don't care who you is. Like, if I see a Caribbean brother pull up to me with an S63 and I'm in my S63, I'm looking at him like, okay, I see you doing it. I'm trying to get like you or whatever. I'm just trying to be congratulatory and be on one accord with other Black people. And I'm going to land with this right here.
All right, appreciate that.
Haiti, hold on, let me land with this right here, this last piece. After the Civil War, right before the Civil War and after the Civil War, Haiti was looked at by Black Americans as the place where we wanted to emigrate to escape America. Go look it up. Haiti. Look up emigrationist Black American in Haiti. You'll see that Haiti welcomed us and gave us citizenship after the Civil War, after we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule. They welcomed us and they said, yeah, come. Also, in Louisiana, it was settled by Haitians. Like, Louisiana had 10,000 Haitians, and they was fighting them crackers with us and Black Americans. If you look at Sierra Leone and Liberia, those are Black Americans that went to especially Liberia. Straight up Black Americans founded Liberia. So you Tether, the word tether is a tricky ass word when you're trying to aim it at somebody. Because right now, somebody can say they're from Liberia, you're going to call them a tether. But they come from Black American spirit. They come from Black American blood. Like, literally. So just be careful. If you don't know history, you're going to get mixed up in some bullshit calling people names. And they people, it's white supremacy that made us kind of fight each other. I'm surprised y'all still on. I promise you, I've been on Twitter for 6 months. I'm surprised y'all still debate in this topic. I thought it was dead. All right, I'll land.
All right. Appreciate that. Shepherd and Black Majority State, I'm going to drop you guys down because we got some people coming up trying to get up here as well, too. So thank you, Shepherd. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and bring a couple new speakers up here. Volvo will get to you, too, but we know you already spoke. So let me get some of the people that hadn't had a chance to speak it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get to we're gonna get to the new speakers as well too. Smooth and Red Rock. Go ahead, DJ.
Yo, you can hear me? All right, my check 1 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, bro, all them people that you mentioned, they was Black first. They didn't come here with a monster.
So you said DP?
No, we said DJ. Go ahead, DJ. We'll get to you, DP.
They didn't have a come up here with a mindset or I'm Haitian first or I'm Jamaican first. I'm African first. That's how the new tethers are coming up here, and this is why we call them tethers, because y'all come here, or the ones that are coming here nowadays, they don't want to associate, integrate, patronize, or do anything with Black Americans. Now, we don't honestly know why, other than when you ask them, hey, look, why you don't want to associate with us? Well, because, hey, the white man told us that. Well, damn. Hold on a minute. So that's a problem right there. Other thing is, too, when you mention people like Shirley Chisholm, Biggie Smalls, all this other stuff, they patronized Black people and did things for the Black collective as a whole. You have to nowadays go off the Dr. Claude Anderson remix they only coming for resources, man. They not coming here to be friends with us, man, like Shirley Chisholm, Malcolm X was, Stokely Carmichael. They're not coming for that. And just to deal real quick, because I know other folks want to talk and I'm busy doing something. So black majority, it's still easy to tell the difference. The reason how you tell the difference between those that are down for the cause, they're willing to talk to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And really want to know what's going on over here in America. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look out for those type of people. You know what I mean? And put them up under the wing. You know what I'm saying? Because you right, you is right, Shepard. You got to be careful with your wording. But hey, we're not the ones up here saying that Black Americans shouldn't get reparations. It should be for all Black people. No, I've been in a barbershop for 2 hours today, versing brothers on the exact same shit. And when I say brothers, I mean Jamaican brothers, Black American brothers, brothers from other different countries, and they was feeling everything that I was saying. None of us here in this barbershop could go to the Congo and say we demand reparations for what King Leopold did to the Congolese. Man, they might chop our fucking hands and feet off, bro. But I'll yield that. You know what I mean?
Okay, real quick. Guys, let me give a shout out to everybody up in the room. Please go ahead and tweet the space out. For those that's on YouTube, y'all go ahead and share the actual video out as well, too. Up in the Jumbotron, I have the actual YouTube channel up there. For those that have not subscribed, it's the second on the right-hand side. Please go ahead and subscribe while the space is going. You can go ahead and click that. It'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. Please go ahead and click that and subscribe to the channel. If you already subscribed, then go ahead and share it out as well, too. Also, for those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. If you have $1 or $2 that you can donate, please, it'll be greatly appreciated. Also, for those that do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. For those on YouTube, the Cash App, the Venmo, and PayPal is up in the description as well. Iron Mode, I see you up in here. So we get everybody that's coming up in here. You need to raise your hand. If you're not going to speak at this moment, guys, go ahead and drop down because we got a bunch of people that's been coming up. This has been a hot topic button tonight. So for those that's going to speak, definitely go ahead and raise your hand. I got you, Iron Mode. I see you up there. Let me give a shout out to my man Trenton. As always, Trenton, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and kick it to Miss Dana. Dana, I caught a little bit of your broadcast yesterday with no taxation. I couldn't catch it all, but I saw a little bit of it. How you doing tonight?
Hey, can you hear me clear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm good. So I shared your YouTube in my community. So shout out to everybody that's in YouTube. It's we getting them numbers up, honey.
Okay, well, thank you, Dana.
Go and subscribe. And I need to be put as a co-host because Professor don't never say anything. And but anyway, so let me comment.
Mute your mic, Professor. Mute your mic. No.
Oh, whatever, Dana. You know I love.
So my son father, baby daddy, he's Jamaican. He was born here, so he would be what? First generation, because his parents came here from Jamaica, but they came over here, I believe, in the late 70s or early 80s. And so my son will be getting 2 reparations checks here in America and CARICOM. So what's the problem? And I Googled Tether, honey, and the only thing that came up was an asset-backed cryptocurrency stablecoin. So I don't even know how that name even came into existence, but nobody's not going to be calling my son no half Tether, no half nothing. He's Black and he's dark. And I think this goes back to cognitive dissonance that we all suffer from, because people from let's say the Caribbean, even Brazil and countries in Africa, because everyone is Black and the government is Black, they think mentally, consciously, they don't experience what we have experienced here. You have experienced oppression. You have experienced white supremacy, if not worse than us, because you actually think that you did not, and it is a different experience, but we all know Black people throughout the diaspora is oppressed. And I always say this, people from whether it's Caribbean or Africa or even Black people from South America, those who came here after the year 2000, yeah, we could question some of those people. But what I noticed, the people who was here before, they were down for the cause. My son's grandparents on his father's side, she didn't like white people. She knew about white supremacy, how racist they were because of what she experienced here and back home. So, you know, and they didn't treat me different. Like, I was family. So I didn't get that pushback or, you know, somebody being funny because I'm Black American. No, I was just me. But I'm not going to dismiss other people's stories because it is more individualized. And also, you got to also highlight Black people here in America, because growing up in North and East Orange, green cab, livery, all those Haitian cab companies, they were getting robbed. They were getting robbed and harassed, but they still didn't, you know, they still picked us up. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like New York where you couldn't get a cab. So, you know, we did things or acted a certain way against our own. And that is the problem that we have in our community, especially if you're talking about a community that's impoverished. So, yeah, I don't think, first of all, we should not be using that word. But at the same time, some people do behave like a tether. They are not allies. And I do have to go back to what Black said, that, you know, allies must be sacrificial. And I just want to highlight, he's absolutely right. But you don't see that today, especially after, let's say, the year 2000, because it was the other person that was naming all of these prominent figures in our community that came from the Caribbean. But you no longer see that. It's a different mindset today. You're not going to see a Maurice Bishop, you know, who was, I think at one point, he was president or prime minister of Guyana. He was assassinated by President Reagan. But when he came here, he came to the Black community, speaking to Black people, saying, listen, you know, we need to work together because this affects all of us. But he sacrificed his life for the movement and the empowerment of Black people. But a lot of people don't know their history. It's a lot of ignorance on both sides. But you could definitely distinct between someone who's been here prior to 2000 and the newcomers that are coming, because they are considered the buffer Blacks. And that's intentional by white supremacists. Everything is intentional where they put us against each other. So, you know, I'm just saying that if we really need to start changing our mindset, and if you get into an argument with someone who may be from the Caribbean, it may not be because you're American and they're Caribbean. No, they're just acting like, you know, an asshole, just acting real funky. So, and then a lot of times you don't know where someone is from, especially they was born and raised here and they're second and third generation, because they act and talk like Americans. So, you know, I'm a land, honey, you can put your thumbs down. I do not care. But I'm going to land there for now because I'm going to have to raise my hand back up again. But I just think, you know, I think we just need to change our mindset and our ideology on how we treat each other.
All right, Dana, appreciate that. Dana, I'm going to drop you down for a second, too, just because we got so many people trying to come up here. But
don't drop me down, honey.
I got to drop you down. But we go, hey, but we'll get you back up here. It's just that we got a bunch of people, and we got you though.
Right hand back up here, that cockasol hand, gonna bring it back up.
We got you there, and don't forget, Dana, me and you, we still supposed to do a we were supposed to do the what are we supposed to do? The one about George Washington Carver, but we still gonna co-host a space too. So
I ain't saying nothing about what George. What are you talking about?
Who are we? Not George Washington Carver. Who was it that we said we were supposed to do the space on that time? I know, right? It would no. It was Booker T. Washington. I'm sorry, that's who it was.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, we got you though, Dana. I appreciate you. Let me go ahead, real quick.
I'll be quick. I got a challenge Dana on that. I ain't wanted to drop down.
Hold on, real quick. Let me get some because everybody keep coming back up here before you go in. Let me go ahead and get real quick to Detroit. So, because as we get new speakers in, we can go ahead and let them speak and then have them drop down too as well. So let me get to Detroit.
Appreciate it, Newstoter. Thank you. I guess what's that guy, who was it, the African guy who was talking about he don't like the word tether?
You talk about Guardian. He's Jamaican, actually.
Yeah, well, saying stuff like, let me get my thoughts because there was a lot of stuff said. He said something about at the immigration office, they tell him about being a certain way and all of that kind of mess. See, this is the same argument we've heard before with people in the diaspora who come over here and say, well, at the immigration office, well, we watched the movie, and that's why we think Black Americans are so bad. That is such a lame cop-out, okay? When I was a little kid, Newstoter, I used to see movies about Tarzan in Africa ruling over the African people, okay? Tarzan had a tree house, he had a wife, he had a son, he had a pet lion, a pet monkey, and he was living a life. When I don't need to go to Africa to know that that's not how they are, how it really is, that the Africans are living, or Jamaica, or wherever, to see that they're not living in mud huts and walking around with spears and bones in their noses. Although some tribes may do that, that's a small percentage. Even if I did believe that nonsense, which I did not as I got older, because I was a little child when I used to watch the Tarzan movies. When I went over to Africa, I saw that it was not like what white people or what Europeans said it was. These Africans come to America. You mean to tell me you watch one movie and now y'all have this vitriol towards Black Americans for the next 20 or 30 years of being over here? I know enough to know, and I've been to Africa, and it's not like that. I know enough to know about Africa right now to know that they don't ride rhinos to school. Okay, I don't need to go to Africa to know this. So when they say this kind of stuff, well, we was told this and we was told that. Once you came over here and interacted with us, all of that nonsense should have went out the window. Also, when you say things like, and I hear another thing that these people from the Caribbean and Africa come and say, I'm hearing this constant thing where they say, white people like us better. Considering the history of white people, why is that some kind of badge of honor? Saying is, he like you. That's what you sound like, saying that. That's like saying you're getting a pat on your head from people who have a barbaric, cannibalistic, torturous nature. And what's that saying about you? That Genghis Khan like me better. Hitler like me better. That's what you sound like, saying that kind of dumb stuff. Also, I was putting my thumb down earlier because, Dana, no disrespect to you, and you may want to address me because I'm addressing something you said. You said something about we need to learn from both sides. Why is it always, when we're divisive, and it's divisiveness from both sides? Why is it always us? See, here's the thing. We really don't need to know African history. Nobody needs to know. Here, Newstoter, I never met you in person. I don't need to know your family background to respect you. I should just respect you until you show me a reason not to. All of this, well, they don't know our history. They don't want to know our history. But yet, they should know our history. Some of them do know our history, but they don't give a damn. They've been here for years with all the immigrants, regardless of where they come from. They don't give a damn about our history. They want to exploit us. They want to bow down to their white mommy and daddy. We know their history, and if we don't know their history, the little bit we do know, we go and respect them. We don't go to their countries, like I heard someone say earlier, and try to say, give us reparations for what King Leopold did. But they're in our business shitting on our history. They're trying to steal our history. And yet we saying it's from both sides. The hell if it is, it's from their side. We've already proven that we're willing to work with them, but it ain't been working for us, so now we can't work with them. And there was something else I wanted to say, but I think I hyped. Thank you, Newstoter.
All right, no problem, Detroit. I'm going to go ahead, Detroit. I'm going to knock you down, but then if you want to come back up here, just raise your hand. Guys, we're just trying to go ahead and clear some space for some of our people that want to come up here and speak. I'm going to go ahead and let Volvo and Dana them come back up here and let them come back up here as well, too, because right now we don't have any new speakers waiting. Dana, I tried to get you up here, but...
Look like we need one more person to drop, I think.
Yeah, I'll get you back up here in a second, Dana, as well too. So because I know Detroit he dropped, but we'll go ahead and we'll get you back up. Where's Volvo? You done spoke a few times, so that's why I'm gonna let you come up here because you spoke about 3 times. So we're trying to get people up here that hadn't spoke as many times as you. So
Spoke it all, and I'd be willing to go down if I can speak.
yeah, we'll get you. We're gonna get to you too. We just got a lot of hands, but we coming. We trying to get to the people because the new speakers are gonna get a chance to speak before the old speakers. That Volvo's the only one up here that spoke before, so Volvo will be it'll be last. Let me go ahead and get the Trans. Trans, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello. Hi, Newstoter. Thank you for letting me talk in your space, and hi, everybody. But something really bothered me. I don't know why this person is laughing, but anyway, it really bothered me. It was like last night and earlier this morning. There's this person, I don't even know. It's like I don't even know if they're also like South African or they're African or something. Some people say he's Zimbabwean, but anyway, he's African. But he's just been saying a whole bunch of disrespectful things about Black American women, and I've been checking him on that stuff, like what he's been saying, and I posted it in the comment section, and yeah, I just got really irritated with him, and I'm sure there were several people who also got irritated with him, and yeah, and
man, don't get irritated because he's talking about black women, not black trans. Black women, not black trans.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, come on. Let. I told y'all again, Professor. Go ahead and let people speak. We got a bunch of hands up in here. Let's not take shots at the speakers as well, too. If they're not taking shots at somebody personally, go ahead, Trans, because we're gonna try to move it around.
Anyway, you can misgender me all you want, but do you not think I don't have friends who are Black American women anyway? So he was talking about my friends, and I have the right to defend my friends. Don't you think so? But yeah, so I just want to say that, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, and thank you for letting me talk, and I hope we can all just get along, and yeah, and I just hate everything going on, but yeah, thank you guys.
All right, thank you, Trans. Let me go ahead and remove you real quick, and then we'll go ahead and bring.
Yeah, don't even do so. Go ahead and remove that from the space. Thank you.
Bring.
Say the kids' schools.
All right. Let's go ahead to Love I Am. Is Love I Am still up here? Love I Am. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi. So my position is going to be a little controversial for those who love tethers. But I actually, when that word came about, there were no pre-existing pejoratives that Black Americans had for Black immigrant populations. So that lets you know how we organically view them. We don't have to weaponize terms against them. Akata is a pejorative that, although it may not have been initially for Black Americans, it has been a term that has been weaponized against Black Americans and used to divide us. So with that said, we didn't have any pejoratives for these groups, and we actually made spaces for these groups. So when Tether came about, I had actually chalked it up to our Black American creativity, because we're very funny. We come up with words that effectively convey what we need them to convey, which in this particular instance was the non-reciprocal relationship that we had engaged with these Black immigrants. And every Black immigrant is not a tether, so they're not used interchangeably. It's literally a reference to people who are undermining our Black American causes. But with that being said, when he had asked what's the biggest benefit that Black Americans have allowed for Black immigrants, I would say it would be for them to allow them to ascribe to our ethnic identifier, because we had already done the work. So when they came over here and they can come under the Black identity, they were able to infiltrate our NAACP. They were able to infiltrate our Congressional Black Caucus. They were able to infiltrate things, leverage their position to advocate for their own causes. And so now we almost are without a voice and are going to have to revamp and come up with some new organizations that are Black American interested. And so when you ask what have they done for us, I would say nothing. And even with the examples that he gave, there were discrepancy on a few names because how he perceives them is not how I perceive them as a Black American. And what I would think, because the way by which Black immigrants come into this country, which is to take an oath of allegiance, which is a renunciation of their nation that they come from, that would have been the only thing that they could have done for us, but they actually forfeit their position to do anything by taking the oath of allegiance. So the U.S. is very strategic. They're not looking for revolutionary Caribbean African people because they've already spent a significant time trying to gauge the consciousness of the American Negro. They literally had a Cointelpro operation to gauge our consciousness and infiltrate our communities. So these people groups that are coming over here, they are not the revolutionaries. So one counterintuitive talking point, and I do think it's cognitive dissonance, and I think it's rooted in an emotional investment that I think is unhealthy, is when we say the U.S. wanted us to be divided against each other, like not like each other. First of all, they weren't going to be able to make Negro people hate Africa. You know what I'm saying? That's not in congruence with our history. They weren't going to be able to get the Negro to hate the Caribbean. But what they could do is bring over individuals who would be able to act as a fifth column and undermine our cause from within. So that's the reality of the matter. And how I can qualify what I'm saying is because, again, when you take an oath of allegiance, you actually forfeit where you would have been able to assist Black Americans. Because what Black Americans have always needed historically was their ability to leverage an international tie. So because we haven't been able to leverage the Caribbean or the African continent in that regard, we actually just have people coming over here and we are unevenly yoked. We're actually engaging in a dynamic that's unevenly yoked. And I actually think that Tether is the appropriate term for that, to be honest. I think it's a wonderful term, especially when you have Jordan Peele, or whatever his name is. When you have his movie to reference, I thought it was very funny and creative, to be honest. And only those who position themselves as a tether are going to get called that. So it's not everyone, because we don't do that. We don't have pejoratives for collectives of people that look like us. Others do, but we don't. But that one is a term that I think fits nicely for what we have going on, which is people who have been able to come over, ascribe to our identity, promote themselves, yoke themselves to our cause. They can't even claim an issue with white supremacy unless they reference our history, because ultimately they're here for an opportunity where they couldn't say white supremacy is so mean. Now, with that being said, if they wanted to say white supremacy has destabilized my country, then perhaps not taking an oath of allegiance and building your country would be the best way to do that. So there's that.
Can I say something?
Okay, hold on real quick, Guardian, real quick, because I know you want to come back. We got so many hands. So let me go ahead and get it around, and I'll come back to you as well. Also, tomorrow night, guys, we're holding a space, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course. That's the Newstoter space. It's titled "A False Narrative: Black Americans Attack Asians with Impunity." That's up in the Jumbotron as well, too, guys. It is on the left-hand side. Go ahead and tweet that space out for tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that. A whole lot of things going on right now with the Asian community and the Black community, and we're going to touch up on some of that tomorrow. So make sure you guys come in and we can have a dialogue just like we having tonight. Also, let me go ahead real quick. Love I Am, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down just so we can get some new speakers up as well, or people that's requesting to come up. So feel free to try to come back up when you get a chance. Let me see, Shepard. I see you coming back up here. So okay. Also, while we're talking about Tether, Black American, once again, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel of a Black American media curation platform. That's up in the Jumbotron, like I said before. Shout out to Dana for going ahead and putting it in her community as well, too. So that is the second on the right-hand side. So since we're talking about Tether, Black American, make sure you guys support a Black American news media curation platform. So definitely do that. And for those that can also support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter, largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today in America. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. We got a packed house in here, so I know we can at least get somebody in the space to go ahead and donate $1 or $2 to the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today in America. $Newstoter. For those that do not have Cash App, we have the jumbo, we have the actual, PayPal and the Venmo up in the Jumbotron. Same for the guys on YouTube. We have all of those in the actual description. Let me go ahead real quick, and I'm gonna get to you, Guardian, because I know you just put your hand up. I'm gonna get back to you, but I'm trying to get to the people that haven't had a chance to speak yet. Let me go ahead and get to because you don't worry, Guardian, we got you. You're a guest speaker tonight, and like I said, this is you want to speak on this topic. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover it. So I'll give you a chance to go ahead and speak as well too. Let me go ahead and get to shout out to you, I am all. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get to Fred. Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic. No, I'm sorry, Fred, I'm sorry. Before I get to you, let me go ahead. DP, it's DP turn and then yours, Fred. DP, go ahead and unmute your mic. And I got you, Fred.
Yo, yeah, shout out that I am love. She did it. I mean, yeah, love I am. She did a thing like that's perfect. It's one. It's all about context, and two, the word has become very necessary. It's a brilliant word. I agree. The movie Us by Jordan Peele that made the perfect example of what I'm saying. Every immigrant isn't a tether. So I don't understand. We've been saying this now for I don't know how long, but people keep talking right past that when they explain it. You make yourself a tether by your actions. Just like Black Americans make themselves coons by their actions. A lot of times that they know what they're doing. They using it for their monetary gain, and we gotta ride against that because that's detrimental to the community. You know what I'm saying? Black Americans and the diaspora. So at the end of the day, it gotta be called out, and whoever I feel like disagree really is just lack accountability. That's it. I land.
All right, appreciate that. DP. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna remove you from the speaker, and we'll go ahead and we're gonna in case somebody else wants to come up, but I appreciate it. Let me give a shout out real quick to Volvo, Brother Muku, and Carlos. I am once again thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get to Fred. Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, like I said, Love I Am was basically on the right point because when you speak of a lot of these, like Stokely Carmichael and Colin Powell, most Black Americans was against him by what he did in Africa. And then when you speak of somebody like Marcus Garvey, he came here because he couldn't find the camaraderie in Jamaica. Now, when you don't ever say that somebody came to America and helped Black Americans. We helped everybody else who came here. Now, if you want to contribute, maybe a few Caribbeans helping some white or Hispanic groups or whatever, that's fine. The best they can do for us is come here and be on code with us. When you talk about Black Americans, we have derogatory terms for anybody who's what you would call off code. Just like, for instance, right now, I have a very big issue with this damn Eric Adams up in New York. Now, but here's the problem. There was a preacher up there beside him co-signing all of this slave-ass coon crap that he kept saying. Now, now we're thinking of the term tether, it's a great term because here's why. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. We need terms that absolutely exclude the people that are on code and off code, and tether is one of them. A tether
I've met many people, many blacks from the diaspora, had no issue with them at all. But just like I wouldn't go over to Africa and try to undermine or jump my monkey ass into some type of claim they have, or in the Caribbean, or try to undermine it. If we found out a black American was doing that in the diaspora, he damn near couldn't come back here, not without getting harmed or extremely ridiculed and basically done in. Now, when you speak of an immigrant, most of the people who come to this country outside of black Americans are immigrants. And then when you look at the blacks that come here, like in the Congressional Black Caucus, 3 out of the top 4 positions are held by immigrants. These immigrants will undermine the hell out of black Americans. They'll go down in the Texas, get locked up, get their ass beat for some illegal alien children in cages. But when it comes to black Americans, them damn lips are sealed. They have more camaraderie with an illegal alien than they do black Americans. So when you speak of black immigrants and black Americans, we don't have a problem with nobody who comes here and gets on code with us. We have a problem whether you're of our lineage or not, of the ones that come here and undermine us and be a tool for white supremacy. Now I'm you.
All right, thank you, Fred. Let me give a shout out real quick.
Can we get some different opinions? It's like 4 people with the same exact opinion.
Hey, what? Hold on. Damn, you done came up in here. You done bogarted my spot. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to make people add something that they didn't have? I mean, people came up here, they raised their hand, they want to speak. Hey, what I'm supposed to do? I can't make somebody just come up with a whole total opinion or whatever. I'm not making anybody say anything. Anybody want to come up here and speak? You already, Shepard, you act like you brand new, like you've never been up in this space. Anybody want to speak? Dana had a different opinion. You had a different opinion. Guardian had a different opinion. Hey, what I'm supposed to do? And not only that, I'm trying to give a shout out to the people showing love and you interrupt. So let me please, can I handle my program? Let me give a shout out to Guardian. Yeah, y'all give me 1 second. I had a power surge that the lights just flickered and it flickered at my house, and then I just lost everything. Like I'm like the space it flickered right as Shepard was saying something, and I said something, and it was like, damn, what happened? So let me go ahead and get this back. Trying to go ahead and title this. So we can go ahead and get this thing started back because DJ like, yeah, you in the Matrix. I'm like, yeah, I know. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get back the momentum we lost. I hate when that happens. And this I can't blame it on Twitter this time. It was actually a power surge hit my house, just boom, just lights flickered and lost the internet just like that. So we'll try to get everybody back, y'all. And that was a good space too. Like I hate that. We definitely gonna try to go ahead and get it back. Momentum was rolling. Everybody was cooking pretty nice up in the space as well too. So let me go ahead, y'all, and try to get this thing back as quick as possible. I really, really hate that because that was really a good space we was having too. So everybody was saying what they wanted to say. I'm surprised. I'm glad. I'm surprised that YouTube was able to stay on. I wish the damn space would have stayed on too. So let's go ahead, y'all. We'll try to go ahead and get our people back. Y'all know once you lose a space, it's like never the same. Like you can never get the same momentum back. I'm trying to connect now with Twitter, so let's see what happens. Twitter's being a bitch right now too because it's connecting and not connecting. Is damn. How you say make you a moderator, Dana? Hey, I'm trying to get the space to start too, Dana. Like, now here we go. Like, let me see if I can get the damn thing. I was trying to get the damn thing to start back. Let me see, man. Let's see, y'all, if we can get it. It looked like it was going to start back up, and then when I went to Twitter to try to go ahead and start it back up, then Twitter started tripping out. So okay, it looks like we might be able to go ahead and get it started back up, y'all. Let me go ahead and tweet out the space again. This sucks. Yeah, we had a power outage here. So we're trying to go ahead and get everything started back, y'all. We had a power outage, everybody, and it wasn't even Twitter this time. Lights flickered at my house, a power surge, and just lost everything. So yeah, luckily somehow the YouTube stayed on though. So I don't know how that happened, but yeah. I am out. I got you. Let me go ahead and get you up here, Professor. Yeah, we had a power surge, man. So let me go ahead and get Professor back up here. As I got you too, Dana. Don't worry. Yeah, y'all. We had a power surge. My lights flickered as I was responding to Shepard. My lights flickered, and next thing I know, everything was just stuck. So yeah, I do apologize about that. That was not Twitter. That was actual power here in Florida, Tallahassee. Flickered, boom. So yeah, my apologies, Professor. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Y'all tweet out the space, man. Y'all tweet out the space. Everything was rolling perfect, and then all of a sudden that happened. So let's go ahead and see if we can regain some of that momentum. We lost some of our people in YouTube. Of course, we lost our people that was up in the space. So let's go ahead. Iron Malt, go ahead and get it in. You want to go ahead and add something?
Had some good speakers, even yourself. That's what many people been trying to say here. Like, hey man, what's the problem? We haven't messed with you. We haven't. What's going on where you just turn your backs all of a sudden? As soon as you get over here, you act brand new. I remember some as far as I think it was Muhammad Ali when he was still Cassius Clay and he won his medal and went to a restaurant to eat. Now white folks would let the African in, but he still had to go the back way. And that's what got me right there. It was one of those old shows, the Ed Sullivan show, when it was a Somalian or Ethiopian there talking about he wasn't black. He's not black. So even back then there was some off-code stuff going on. You just had a Nigerian doctor with a Asian guy, Chinese guy, denying special program for black doctors. So people talking about all these folks that came over here and did this and did that. Yeah, some of them was riders, not tethers. And nobody gonna tell me not to use the word tether when I know it, that if I say it, it's gonna fit you because it's something that you have done or doing. That's like when I use the word coon. That's like I use the word the bed winch and everything else. Yeah, I'm gonna use it when it's there. If you're a simp, I'm gonna use it. So going on the phone. This is Texas. We kind of got some funky weather floating around here. But like I was saying, the thing is, people are all of a sudden in an uproar when we want to delineate and we want to get our due justice with reparations. All of a sudden, everybody's going crazy. All of a sudden, we can't separate. But when they win something, a medal or some Oscar or something, that's Jamaican American, that's Nigerian American. But as soon as we say whatever fits, Freeman, FBA, Black, Foundational, $8, whatever, everybody's in an uproar. Why? Why are you upset? Because we delineating ourselves just like you are. Like I said, some good speakers. They kind of brought out a whole lot of other points, so I'm gonna land my plane there.
All right, appreciate that, brother. Like I say, and let me just apologize, everybody. Had a power surge. It wasn't Twitter this time. It was a power surge. My lights flickered. Next thing I know, I was up in the Matrix. So shout out to everybody coming back up in the space. Like I say, tomorrow night, y'all make sure y'all check us out as well too, because we're gonna be going in on this Asian thing as well too. So shout out to you guys coming back up in the space. Tweet the space out. Let everybody know that we back. We got one of our co-hosts back in here, but the other one hadn't came back yet. So hopefully DJ will find his way back in as well too. Let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engaging. Mr. Engaging, you hadn't had a chance to speak yet.
Thank you, good brother. I'm kind of complexed about what I've been hearing about this Tether thing and people throwing on the cape. The Negro and Black American people have already thrown on the cape for these immigrant people, and they gave us their asses to kiss, respectfully. I'm not an ass kisser, respectfully. I'm going to kick them in their ass for the stuff that they have done to us in our community. Show me the Negro Black American person who's overseas right now up in Caricon effing it up. Show me the Negro Black American in South Africa undermining the economic freedom fighters. You show me that. So they have the nerve to come over here, and complain about what we saying in our own damn house. If they don't get the hell up out of here before I call ICE on them in a second, like real talk, I'm ready to call ICE. Ain't no negotiating. And we gotta be really truthful and honest about the conversation. And as a night, I want to make sure that we're gonna stay truthful and honest. The truth of the nature is that our people gave them an extended courtesy because we saw what was going on in their homeland. We gave them an opportunity, a leg up to help support us and become the ranks of our society. And what have they done for us? They have told us that we don't need reparations. They done called us bullet bags, you know? They done made money off our blood, sweat, and tears in our body. Yo, you can laugh. You can think it laugh. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Some of them were immigrant MFers, but it's all good. But we know people who are in their feelings because they got invested interests, you know? This is what happens when you date outside the box or you co-sign that shit, you know? You do cool as shit. I'm just gonna, and you speak buffoonish. And I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. And I'm not co-signing the genocide of our people. I'm not co-signing that. Other people might, because they got a vested interest, because they got mixed lineages or whatever. But over this side of the tracks, all four corners are covered. If you did what I'm saying, from my parents to my grandparents, ain't no confusion on this side of the tracks. And that's the problem that we talk about in these communities when it comes to these interracial relationships, when it comes to anything else. The only relationship that's worth protecting and saving is the one with the Negro Black man and the Negro Black man and woman and child. Anything else, it's whatever. It's really on that type of time. And we gotta be on that type of time. Not because we want to, it's because how they treated us. And when you got people that's out here making light of this nonsense, after these people done came halfway across the world and called us niggas to the face, they complaining we calling them a goddamn tether? Really? I'm about to go out and probably come to the nearest immigrant person and call them a tether right to their damn face, just off of GP. Just off of GP. Because when I go to the store, I see the Mexican kid or the Spanish kid looking like Tekashi 6ix9ine saying nigga 15, 16 times in a row. But if I go punch that 19 or 20-year-old kid in the face, I'm wrong. I'm the one who's out of pocket. So, me personally, I'm about calling ICE delineation at all costs. That means swords are up, we're cutting you out the frame. Real talk. That's how Knights roll on this issue. Cut them out the damn frame. They failed us, and there's a price to be paid for being a damn failure. We don't get no participation trophy around here. We're champions, nothing less.
Okay, appreciate that, Mr. Engaging. And also, before the space ended, I want to say thank you also for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead, Reg Rock. I know you didn't get a chance because the space, like I said, I got hit with this power surge and lost power. So Reg Rock, go ahead and unmute your mic. Guys, if I get hit with another, we in Florida and we got some jacked up weather. So if I get hit with another, power surge and things shut down, I will see y'all tomorrow night in the space about the Asians and the false narrative that black people are attacking them with impunity. I want to hear some of this same passion tomorrow night when we start talking about the Asian community as well, too, y'all. So y'all make sure you bring your ass, as they say, bring your ass.
Brother Newstoter, I'm gonna keep it so real with you. I got Asians on my damn flyer brochure saying that we're against what the Asian community is doing. The Asian, we call it for what it is: counterintelligence against Asian affirmative action and hateful narrative. So you know what my damn stance is at. Then on top of that, protection against immigrant replacement policies and attacks. So you know where my organization stand at, and you damn sure know where I stand at as a commander.
Oh yeah, I know you're gonna go in. So I know if you got time to come through the space tomorrow, you'll be there. So I definitely look forward to hearing you. I'm just that wasn't for you in particular because I know your sentiments on it. I'm talking about the other people up in the space as well too. We got a good space going tonight. Unfortunately, like I said, we got hit with that power surge, but it's back on, guys. Go ahead and tweet it out. But let me go ahead and get to Reg Rock. Reg Rock, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up, Newstoter? Thanks for giving me a quick minute.
What's up, man?
I don't want to say the same thing over and over, but I kind of co-signed with, I think it was Dana. I spoke to one of the elders, and one of my best friends on one side of that family is Caribbean, and I was talking to him about that. And, he kind of told me back when he came, they was trying to be down with us. He don't even claim his Caribbean anymore. But he said after a certain date, then there was a big wave for people that have the tether behavior. And I think it was Callaway. Just being from outside America don't make you a tether. And it's like I've already heard a couple of times, just your behavior. And an example is that guy, I think he was running for mayor or something in Chicago, said he's going to stop Black History Month. That's an example of a tether. Stokely Carmichael, guys like that, they was B1. Also, I want to know, is there a way to set up automatic payments for you? I'm noticing if you give $5-10 a month, that don't hurt. You can do stuff like that. Can we do that to your payment platforms?
I at this point in time, I'm just using the Venmo and the PayPal and the actual Cash App. But anything you can donate, brother, if it's $1 or $2 a month, it's appreciated. So it doesn't matter at this point in time.
Yeah, if everybody gave $5 a month, I gave up my cigarette money to support myself, so I give him a couple of dollars a month, so I can spare a couple of more to give you too, because you out here doing this, and hopefully we see you much bigger and become mainstream, so to speak. Without selling out, we know you ain't gonna sell out.
That's definitely the goal, brother. We definitely want to get to that point. Like I say, I appreciate everything that everybody does for the platform as well too. So definitely appreciate that, Reg Rock.
You too nice sometimes too. These people that know they just got off keep popping in, tell them to write their thought down, and when they get back around to them, then they can.
Well, we try to. Yeah, we try to give everybody an opportunity to come up here and speak and stuff like that. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't, unfortunately. But what are you gonna do? These are our people. We love them regardless. We appreciate that, bro. Let me go ahead and absolutely. I want to go ahead and get the Guardian because Guardian's been waiting for a minute. I'm gonna go Guardian, Dana, Shepherd, and I'm gonna get to Love I Am, Commander. I'm gonna get back to you as well too. So Guardian, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yes, sir. Okay, so thank you very much for having this discussion. So I just wanted to emphasize that. Okay, so I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Okay. Both of my parents happen to be from Jamaica, all right? But it's like I've grown up as a Black American, all right? I have been involved in the culture, even in the playing of jazz music and teaching a whole bunch of kids in the community jazz music. Now I have a program to end our epidemic of gang violence and stuff, and I actually moved to Baltimore City to set up my program. You understand? So I just wanted to, and young people are benefited. They're learning how to do all kind of entrepreneurial things, amazing things, So I just wanted to share that, you don't want to use these words, tether and stuff like that, and end up isolating, people who are, some of your strongest allies. You understand? Because we have Black immigrants who run STEM programs, like my god sister. We got Black immigrants or first generation who are OBGYN doctors who deliver your babies, So they start up charter schools and teach children and stuff like that. And we have a whole bunch in the military who are officers, and some of them are generals, and they provide safety and protection, right, to being a Black American, a Black person in America. I also wanted to point out something in my that I put in the Jumbotron, and I just wanted to just really clarify that. Let me read it real quick. What does it say? It says, where is it? Hold on. It says, okay, well, well, let me just say from memory, right? Basically, there's some studies that show that thousands of Black American slaves were moved, okay, to Jamaica. And there's a fellow, Prince Hall Mason. He's a Prince Hall Mason. He was the founder of it, and he was making a real big, noise about it up here in Baltimore City, because they were kidnapping both slaves and freedmen, Black freedmen, from this area in America and push them down to Jamaica, right? And so then from Jamaica, a lot of those people went over to England and stuff like that. So I'm just saying that a lot of these people that you see in the Caribbean and stuff like that, what would become millions, right, were actually, they have their origins as Black American slaves, all right? So I'm just saying that for that reason, we're really all one people. Our lineage actually goes all the way back to Africa. I don't want to mess up the reparation game for y'all or anything like that, but I just wanted to point out that a lot of Black Americans were moved to Jamaica and other places. You understand? So those are people who were here for years before, okay, they left. So I just want to make it clear that we're really all one people, but let's not allow Cointelpro to run their schemes and have us fighting and dividing each other. If there's anybody with the reparations, you understand what I'm saying? It's the white American who's supposed to pay that thing up. We should not let them trick us into fighting each other. And that's what I'd like to share.
All right. Appreciate that, Guardian. Let me give a shout out to Teresa and Ms. Trigger. And Teresa, I love you too, sweetie. So thank you for your contribution as well, too. Let me go ahead and get to Volvo. Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic. Let me see. Reg Rock, I'm going to put you down since you just spoke, because we got the hands. They coming back again. So would you go ahead so we can go ahead and start getting some people back up again. So some of you guys, I'm going to drop down as you speak, just so we can have people come up. Brother Moku, if you're going to speak, brother, go ahead and just put your hand up just so I know that you're going to speak. We're just trying to get the people that's going to speak. IMO, I'm going to remove you for 1 second as well, too, guys. You're more than welcome to come back up. We're just trying to clear some space, because we got a bunch of hands that's been coming up tonight. So we're going to definitely go ahead and get it around. Go ahead, Volvo. Unmute your mic.
I thought I was after Guardian.
No, it's Volvo, then you.
Because Volvo, I mean, you handed him the mic a lot tonight. But go ahead, Volvo.
Hey, you got to speak up, Volvo. You low.
Who is she? Are you referring to me being a Tether?
Yeah.
No, Tether. Stop.
Listen.
Don't play with me. Don't do it. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk, but don't come for me, because I will slaughter you.
Let me say this, right? Tether is a hurtful word. I'm assuming they really affected by that. Okay, cool. I say good. I'm glad I know that. I heard somebody say earlier that they wouldn't teach their children to say Tether. I'm teaching mine to say it. If I'm going to break it down to them too. If one of these foreign blacks disrespect you, play with you, do something disrespectful that's disrespectful to hurt you, I'm gonna let them know that word hurt them back. I come from the Black American community, where all Black Americans got the same story as part of our culture. When you outside on the playground, somebody hit you, what y'all supposed to do? I guess I'm the only one that know how to answer that. Hit their ass back. That's what we teach all throughout America. Hit their ass back. So somebody coming at you sideways, if one of these foreign blacks coming, y'all ain't going back home. Y'all ain't going back over there, so we got to live around y'all now. And now that we understand that y'all are anti-black and y'all don't like Black Americans, and y'all calling us Yankees and the Packers, what the fuck we supposed to do? Ain't nobody yo punch it back. Yeah, Tether hurt. All right, cool. I like that. Now I know. Now I know. That really do affect y'all. So yeah, call them a Tether, call them whatever you gotta call them. If they trying to hurt you, you better hit their ass back. So I just wanted to say that. That hurt? Good. That's That's what we're supposed to do. Good. I'm gonna drop down, brother.
No, don't drop him down because I'm gonna ask him a question because he nigga babbling. Why you think I'm a tether?
Because you sound like one. I was listening.
What does that sound like? What did I say for you to think I'm a tether since you're so intelligent?
You was defending the tethers. You was defending the word saying
everybody from Africa and the Caribbean, you're saying they're a tether off the rip.
You didn't hear what I said earlier, Tether. You didn't hear what I said earlier. I told Guardian earlier.
You just said because I defended him, so I'm asking you.
I said you defended him. No, you didn't hear what I said. Everybody here heard what I said earlier. They heard me say we not saying you a tether just because the simple fact you exist.
All right. So now it's my turn to speak. You can move him up and drop him down because
this
is the problem that I have. This is the problem that I.
Okay. One person at a time. Now, everything was going pretty well. Everybody wasn't speaking over each other. So let's go ahead and get it back. Let's go ahead, y'all, and just chill out. Go ahead, Dana.
This is the problem that I have with ignorant niggas. Because you could say, just like somebody in this YouTube chat, Somalia, that's a tether. Don't bring my family up in nothing because you don't know me, nigga. And Volvo, when you have ignorant Black American niggas, because we all got names. And that's why I point to people on an individual level. I'm not going to sit up here and call someone who I'm cool with, that's my ally, that's more of a brother and sister to me than your black ass is. I'm not going to call them a tether, nigga. So just like Caribbeans or Africans or whoever outside of America can be tethers, so can Black Americans be ignorant niggas like yourself. Don't play with me. Don't. I call bitches mammies when they come out of pocket. So if you want to call me a name, you better try to find one that's Black American. All that other shit you talking so
You're not Black American. You're not Black American.
All right, okay.
Okay, go ahead and let her finish speaking, Volvo. Okay.
Stop. He really think I'm upset because he's saying I'm a tether and I'm not Black American. And the reason why I have a problem with you, because I have a problem with dumb, ignorant, coon-ass niggas like yourself with that fake-ass Arab beard you got on. That's my problem. So if you think I'm not Black American, who gives a fuck? Because you're dumb. And that's not what that's not even what I wanted to say. But it's ignorant niggas like you that don't speak for Black Americans. I said my son's father is Jamaican, first generation. Well, he was born here, so I guess that's second or first generation. His parents came from Jamaica in the early 70s, probably the late 60s to be exact. I said it's the difference from the people from whether you're the Caribbean, South America, or even different countries in Africa coming here prior to the year 2000, as opposed to the ones that came after. It is the difference on their behavior and their mentality. Black people here, we need to know history all over the world. We need to know public policy, what happened in the Caribbean, different countries in Africa, South America, so forth. It's in here as well. But one thing I do know, people from the outside coming here, the one thing that's on their mind is money. That's it. They don't know our history. So yeah, they're gonna talk that ignorant, stupid shit. Cointelpro is an issue, which is why people think the way they do. Black Americans here and abroad. So motherfucker, if you wanna try to come for me, you better come with some facts and like you got some sense, because you sound stupid.
Oh, I apologize.
You can't check me, nigga. Nobody up here can't check me. Nobody up here can't educate me. You're dumb. You need to go read a book. And that's the problem that I have with Black Americans sitting up here complaining about somebody else or what the fuck somebody else doing, but you ain't doing shit but complaining. And that goes for you, Commander, because how in the hell you date outside your race when you're talking about another Black person from Jamaica? That's not dating outside your race.
It is dating outside.
Okay. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and let's not get it too much on point on Dana. Go ahead and get it.
No, yeah, but see, this is the difference between me and everybody else. I call out names, so if they want to reply, of course they can reply. But I got the mic right now, so I call out names. So nigga, if you want to call me a tether or I'm non-Black American, so what? You're dumb and you just proved it. You don't do shit for your community. I can tell. Commander, how the hell, like I said, can you date outside your race when you're referring to?
I'm single, ma'am. First of all, you're throwing a jacket. I'm single. I'm not dating anybody. You sounding ignorant as hell right now.
You say, I'm not being
like I'm not dating anybody right now. I'm keeping it 1,000. So I don't date. I'm not.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna have to kind of get control back of the room. I'm gonna have to kind of get control back of the room again, guys. I want to go ahead and keep this focused on the actual topic. So Dana, I'm gonna go ahead and let you, because I know if you go at Commander and he goes back, then Volvo is just gonna be like a 3-way, and we got a bunch of hands up.
That's what I'm saying. Stop coming off your mic if somebody talking, because I let people rock and I don't interrupt. But they want to talk about, oh, they mad. No, nigga, you mad. That's why you coming off your mic. So when I'm finished talking, then you can reply. So the question is, I didn't say you personally dated. You said black people don't need to date outside their race. My question to you, how can a black person dating a black Caribbean date outside their race? That makes no sense. So
it's called intercultural. It's two different cultures. Like, come on, Dana. You can be ignorant all you want. You can be ignorant all you want, but the reality is they're two different. Yeah, it's two different people.
Okay, Dana, let me go ahead and let you because I'm gonna Volvo, I'm gonna bring you back up too, but you and Dana, I'm gonna drop y'all down just so we can go ahead and get to the other speakers. Dana, go ahead and land it in about a minute, and then we're gonna go ahead and get to the other speakers because I know it's just gonna keep escalating.
Honey, it's gonna keep escalating because people want to come off their mic because they mad. And I'm just saying, don't try to come for me because I will fucking finish you. Anybody. That's all. But I'll drop down, and you best believe I'm going to request to come back up.
Okay.
No, that's cool. She finna drop down. Let her go ahead and drop down.
I was just gonna say, Volvo was trying to apologize too. I did hear him say that.
It don't matter. Look, I want you. People need to stand on a square. Because if you try to come back and apologize, what are you apologizing for? Because I'm speaking the same. I don't gotta explain that to you. I'm calling you out. Stand on your square. If that's what you believe it. But I'm gonna come back. So you can drop me.
Okay.
No. Can you keep her up?
No. I'm gonna drop her, and then Misty Engaging, I'm gonna let you speak too. But no, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna.
No. I want her to respond because I find it very disingenuous that she's out here causing problems with people within the lineage, but I don't see her having that smoke with the people that's really causing us harm like that, man. Like these are brothers and sisters that are saying that these are people that are grieving us, right? And then you got a person who got an invested interest outside the community with a different lineage about this issue and our thing. So I'm just gonna keep it real with you.
All right.
So I find it very disrespectful and disingenuous that goes on like that.
All right, Mr. Engaging, let me go ahead and get to some of the other speakers, and I'll come back to you. Let me go ahead and matter of fact, let me get to Heat. Heat hasn't had a chance to speak. Then I get to you, Shepard. Heat, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Y'all get me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Peace and blessings to the room. I want to just exchange from the whole debacle and stick to the topic. The Black Diaspora wants us to stop using the word tether. I feel both ways about that. I feel, the word tether was just recently created, probably like a year or two ago, but the word apata has been created. They've been had a word for us. You know what I'm saying? So this is your chance to see how we felt. You feel me? If y'all can feel that, that's the epitome of the N-word, or it belittles you, or it hurts your feelings. Imagine how it feels that you call us wildcat. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all been had a disdain toward us. Like, we're not from the motherlands, quote, so-and-so, you know what I'm saying? So, you got to stand on your square. And, it's part of our culture to roast, you know what I'm saying? If you're not fit for the roasted, don't step in the paint. A lot of these people, they come with some vitriol and disdain, look down on us, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, our lineage is up under them or something. Like we just something to sweep up under the rug, not knowing how superior and how our lineage, just adapt over time and created things that the world uses to this day. So I mean, they just got to stand on that square. I mean, of course, I would want all of us to be able to be one people to unite over white supremacy, because that's the common goal. But if you allow them to look at us, I mean, for them to implement things in your mind, when you come from a different land that they impoverished, and then you come here, it's like to see it through and saying, oh no, I'm not gonna be with them, I'm gonna hang more with white people. I mean, I see it coming from Miami, Florida. Like I see it's multicultural here, and we're outcasts and shunned out. Like I work 10 times as hard just to, get equated to some of the people that I do. You know what I'm saying? I work in landscaping. I've had to learn to damn near be bilingual and learn Spanish and all type of things, you know what I'm saying, just to get through the day. So it's like, if I can upgrade myself to this point to where I am, and they still look down on us, you gotta hold it. Because like some of these rooms, they be coming in, they go in on us, bro, and they talk down on us. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are in these rooms now, bro. And it's like, I want unity, but at the same time, I'm gonna stand up for my people. Like I'm not gonna just kiss ass and to be united on some Pan-African and some BS, because that's not what it is. We got no allies, and I want to stand with my lineage. And I see where we're going since this reparations thing been going up and up. I see we're more united than anything, bro. Our lineage has been getting more on code with anything, like Professor Truth and the host, who, we've been throwing things together where we're getting our journalism together, we're putting out our new black media, we're getting stronger, we're getting united, and we're gonna overcome this. Like we're gonna think it and utilize these ways and utilize some strategic strategies to overcome to where we gotta get to the other side. You know what I'm saying? So I want to drop my plane. I don't want to land too long, but I mean, this is very empowering to where we going now. We got a new black media, and it's exposing everything. If you could see TikTok, the world is exploding right now. And the Democrats, they're in trouble. Like, this is the grassroots right now, stirring up all this trouble, bro. If it wasn't for the grassroots, you think any of this would have been going on right now? It wouldn't. You see Roland Martin, he's trying to use our lingo, our language, and our talk. Like they in shambles right now. They don't know what to do. So I want to land my plane. I just want to say we're a unique lineage. Like Dr. Claude Anderson said, we're unique. Once we mastermind and we get those reparations, which we're going to get, because they cannot stop us. You cannot rebuttal or fathom the truth. We got the truth on our side. We got documents. We got receipts. This is why they don't want TikTok over here now, because we're able to communicate with the world. If we go up like France going up right now, bro, what can they do to stop us, bro? Nothing. And I land my plane now. I love everybody in the room, man. Just peace, prosperity, man. We may not all see eye to eye, but we got one come and go. And once we unite that, just like the Republicans doing right now, and this is that different party that we need right now. All in these rooms.
All right, Heat.
And get rid of the BS.
All right, appreciate that, Heat. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Shepard. I'm gonna get to you, and then I want to get to a couple of our new speakers as well too. We got Dark and Lovely, and I want to get to Miss T. So Shepard, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right. Yeah, first things first, do not come for Dana. That, scratch that off the list. Yes, sister, no sister. All right, I disagree with you, sister, but don't come for her neck. She will end you. Sis is vicious. Sis is vicious. Yo, man, I missed y'all, man. Yo, Newstoter. Yeah, I missed y'all, man. I really did, man. Y'all make this shit fun, man. Y'all make life fun. We gotta laugh.
We
man.
try.
We can't be anything
We do try.
We we gotta laugh. We can't be at each other's necks, man. This is funny as hell to me. I don't agree with a lot of shit people said on here, but you got a right to feel how you feel. Nobody can make you not say some or say some. Do you? You know, if you feel like you found a weapon and this weapon is you gonna wield it because it's gonna hurt people's feelings. If that's the level that you on, then you be that. Do that. That's just not the level. I'm not teaching my kid how to fucking say something to foreign black people. That shit is not in his repertoire. He ain't learning like that. He learning about the power of an LLC right now. He learning about copyright laws. He's learning about intellectual property. He learning how to get money like his father right now. Like, that's the shit we on. And if I see an immigrant pulling up in a big ass S63 AMG and I'm in my big ass X63 AMG, I'm gonna look over to that black man and I'm gonna look at him or nod. I see you. That's how we supposed to be. I can tell by listening to a lot of y'all got a lot of hate in your heart, just period, and a lot of victimhood. That victimhood, man, you need to wash that shit out your system somehow, some way. I don't know if you was cheated in life. I don't know if you're not where you think you're supposed to be, and you think you've been cheated and swindled out of your place in life, and black immigrants specifically did it to you, and they the reason. But that white people was saying in the 1920s when they massacred us all. That's the same fucking type of talk and the birth of a nation, and that's the same type of talk that's only gotten people and divided people in life. So if that's where you at, that shit is against almost every type of philosophy in the world. It's against Judaism, it's against Christianity, it's against Buddhism, it's against Islam, it's against saying about trying to hurt other people. Come from the same soil as you in one way or another, that shit is bananas to me, man. And if that's how you rock it, more power to you. Do you? Because I'm a grown-ass man. I ain't trying to convince another grown-ass man who over the past 2 years got so indoctrinated in some new talking point that this is all they want to do and talk about. I've been on this app for 6 months and niggas is still talking about the exact same fucking thing. No evolution. Ain't nobody talking about getting money with the most powerful fucking app we ever had in our lives. So fuck it. If that's where you at, I can't pull you up out of that shit. You there, and that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. They the ones that did it all to us and nobody else, and you don't want to talk about white supremacy more than you talk about black immigrants, then fine. That's who you is at this moment. Can't stop that. I know when I go to Africa, when I go to the Caribbean, when I travel the world, I see other people in Dubai that's black, that's getting money. I see people from Jamaica getting money. I see people from Ghana. When I went to Ghana, I see people in Ghana getting money. And I don't even see them as nothing but human beings that's getting money and trying to grow and provide for their families like me. And you gotta understand that we all have different languages. Foreign-born Americans have different languages. It's like a nigga like me from Brooklyn got a different language. Matter of fact, I was in Compton the other day. I can't go in Compton acting like the way that I act on the block in New York. It's different rules to being in different places, and everybody plays their part for them different rules. And one thing that nobody is saying is that none of us is in control of the rules of white supremacy. So you just gonna keep punching down because you can't punch up. You can't touch white people in no type of fucking way, shape, or form. There's 200 fucking million of them, and there's 50 million black Americans. There's 50 million Hispanic Americans. There's 10 fucking million Asian Americans, and we ain't all unified as 100 million strong to fight white supremacy. I mean, so we gonna get picked off and divided and conquered every fucking way possible. And this type of talk just solidifies that for me. Another thing, don't never tell black immigrants coming from Africa that they can't speak on American politics. But I just posted in the chat, American fucking general, a black American general is in now for working for AFRICOM to destabilize and coup and to steal all the resources out of Africa to benefit America. So if America is in Africa fucking doing all this crooked shit and fucking a murdering Haitian president, and America is all over the fucking black world killing us and doing, then they got a right to say what the fuck they want to say once they get here and become a American citizen. They can say what the fuck they want.
because America is all know it's evil. So all of American flags y'all rocking and all this American love y'all got, you know, America don't give a fuck about Black Americans. And I'll land with this shit right here on some real talk. We're not united because of reparations. The brother just said, and I agree with a lot with United because they killed one too many Black people. The police killed one too many Black people in a row, and that shit got us united real fucking quick. Because we united like it was 1919 again, and that's what got us united. Reparations is not an issue that is uniting us. None of the reparations rallies has had 100,000 people, 300,000 people. None of the reparations rallies have had millions of burning shit down and fighting the police and setting shit ablaze and ready to just go to war. So reparations is not that issue for us. So let's stop conflating the real issue with we're tired of being killed by the crack of society. And let's talk about the real issues. Reparations is a great issue. Hopefully we get it, but we still got to get out here and be soldiers and fight. And that's what's united our men, women, and children right now. It's the fact that we're being murdered, not reparations. And I'll land with this last fucking point, last absolute point. One way or another, I don't give a fuck what you is if you got my back. Period. I don't give a fuck what you is, where you come from, if you got my back. I got Black Americans out here killing each other every fucking day. I was just in Compton the other day talking with some brothers, and it's devilish in Compton. I'll be in Brooklyn 3 weeks from now, and it's devilish in Brooklyn. Yo, it's devilish in Black American neighborhoods, and it's not because people are calling us a collar. It's because we have a self-hate that is built inside of us, that is destroying us from within. And it's not Black Americans didn't inject self-hate into us. The white man did. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it all the way a buck. Get money, man. Keep your family safe, man, and watch your back and have love for the people that got your back. That's it.
All right. All right, Shepherd. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and drop you down, but definitely appreciate you speaking tonight. Let me go ahead also and give a shout out real quick to Wayne, and let me give a shout out to Black Delegation also for your contributions on Cash App. Dane, I see you requesting Trenton, you were up here. I don't know what happened. I was going to bring you up here because you hadn't had a chance to speak. Let me go ahead. I want to go ahead and get to my new speakers though. We got some new speakers up here. I'm going to go to Dark and Lovely. I'm going to go to Miss T, and then I'm going to go to Mel, and then we'll get to some of the other speakers that's already had a chance to speak up here. So let me go ahead and get to our new speakers.
Y'all any trouble, all you got to do is call Allah. She going to handle it, all right? Call Allah.
Let me go ahead and get to and then we're gonna start. We like I said, we're gonna start dropping people as they speak to, because everybody up here spoke before except the new speakers. So we're gonna start dropping people when they speak as well too. Go ahead, Dark and Lovely.
Good evening, everybody. Peace to the room. Thanks, Newstoter, for letting me speak. Oh boy, we're still having the same conversation. If they feel like a problem with Tether, like nobody cares, okay? Nobody can police 4 million mouths. We just can't do it. You understand what I'm saying? So whoever's going to go back and forth, they're going to go back and forth, whether it's personal feelings or whatever. But let's get to the politics. We have already had a president that was not of Black American descent. You understand what I'm saying? We already know what it is. We can't afford to take our eyes off of anybody. We cannot afford to take our eyes off of anybody. It doesn't matter whether they share our same skin color. People keep confusing the streets with politics, the conscious community, and keep mixing that up. That's the problem. You understand what I'm saying? My son's father is half Jamaican. My daughter's godmother is Caribbean. I have explained to them, it's not about you. It is about your personal feelings, because sometimes it makes you so angry what they're doing, what's going on, that it does fall into your personal feelings. And you get upset, you start calling people tethers. My thing is, like I tell them, it's also a political fight. If you're not a part of the conscious community, you're not going to get what we're saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a part of a political fight. Until I see, you understand what I'm saying, those Caribbeans and Africans and those people call into NARC, call into COBRA, call into those meetings and let them know, hey, you know, That's for Black Americans. That's not for us. You guys are making they fight harder by making them have to also fight Black Caribbeans and Africans, and then also fight white supremacy too. So while y'all say that we don't, y'all fighting Black immigrants more than y'all fighting white supremacy, no, you guys are putting yourselves in the way where we have to fight you also. If you don't put yourself in the way that we have to fight you also, why would we ever come to fight you? You have been living around us for 60 years. We have never treated you bad as a collective, and you're acting like now that the conscious community is moving the way that they move it, that we're just crazy. No, you will not convince me I'm crazy. From Obama to Narc and Cobra to in way they are trying to include South America and everybody else that has a piece of melanin in our reparations, to people trying to erase Black History Month. You understand, to the Chicago mayor that we have now that is I don't care what nobody say, I know he's the immigrant, look at what he's doing. Black immigrants have shown us that their allegiance is toward immigrants, not towards us. Look at the medical doctor, what he's doing with the Asian man trying to get, they succeeded in getting DEI out of the pay. Now, I have my own problems with DEI, but that's not the point. The point is that it's showing us that immigrants are going to rock when immigrants never mind the skin color. We got that already. We're not going backwards. You understand what I'm saying? We're not doing that. So right now in this climate, it's not about melanin. I don't give a fuck about melanin. You understand what I'm saying? This is about the conscious community, a political fight. These Black immigrants are heavily involved. And until I see that we get our check and they don't get a dime in every city in America, we will keep this fight going. Like I said, until I see y'all go in places and say, nah, man, we don't, this ain't ours. No. You understand what I'm saying? We will keep going. So like I said, fam, we'll keep our neck on every motherfucking body. And if they have a problem with us saying tether, well, then stop saying nigga. Stop saying that. Let you do that first, and then we'll talk about the name calling. But as far as not keeping our neck on them politically, no, family, we have to. They just gave Africa $55 billion and apologized for them for slavery. That is political. Do you understand what I'm saying? Did you see any African saying, well, damn, that's fucked up that they would apologize to the slave sellers and give us $55 billion and ignoring these people? Do you see anybody saying that? So if the Black immigrant community, check this out. If some of y'all got our backs in the conscious community, you're letting the ones that don't have our backs drown your voice out. And as long as it's like that, I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker call you and whose feelings are hurt. And everything I say to my own people that I love that are of Caribbean descent. Africans I've never had a relationship with. That's not the way it works in New York. We more have relationship with Caribbeans, Latinos, therefore. So until I see them denounce that wants to come up here and talk that bullshit, I don't give a fuck about none of that. And I will land my plane there.
Okay, real quick, y'all. Hold on, real quick, y'all. Real quick. Because I get on the fellas in the space about cursing, and I constantly tell them, hey, y'all got to chill on the cursing. Y'all got to chill on the cursing. We got to get the sisters to also chill on the cursing as well, too, y'all. Because, I can't do the double standard here. And I say something to the men about cursing all the time, but then the sisters, they come right back and they cursing more than the men. They going off. They going slap off. And the men looking at me a kind of way, and some of the women like, hey, I thought you said that y'all was trying to chill on the cursing. I understand that we're going to curse some in the space, because I've even slipped up myself as well, too. But we got to go ahead and kind of cut back on some of that cursing a little bit here and there. We can go ahead and do, but we just can't just constantly go off. And the men looking at me like, hey, what's going on, Tota? You sitting up here and you getting on us, but you let the sisters go up here and they cursing 10 times more than we cursing. So I'm letting everybody know we starting over right now. What y'all said in the past for the space, it doesn't matter, but going forward, let's go ahead and let's kind of be careful of what we're saying in terms of cursing. I know, like I say, I know everybody's passionate. No harm, no foul. I'm just putting it out there now. Let's go ahead and chill on the cursing as much as possible. A slip up here and there, hey, it ain't the end of the world, but let's just not just go on full, just cursing sprees if we can help it. All righty. So let me go.
I apologize, guys. I'm so sorry.
That's cool. Like I say, dark and lovely. We just putting it out there for now. So now everybody can like, hey, Because like I say, brothers be hitting me up in the D. I thought you said nobody was cursing, and they said in other spaces, I thought you said nobody was cursing and this and that or whatever. So like I said, I knew this space here was going to kind of go ahead and was going to kind of hit some buttons as well too. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. It's no harm, no foul, but let's just go ahead and try to be a little bit mindful, y'all, of what we're saying in these spaces and stuff. They are recorded. And like I say, I'm guilty of it as well myself too. I slip up and say stuff as well too. So,
hey, Total, is there any way we can have another person move down, or 2 people, or whatever?
Okay, yeah, dark and lovely. And a lot of our people that came up, and Dane, I see you were saying that I'm letting certain speakers up. Here's the thing: people speak. We get new speakers that come up here, they drop down, but then some of the same people that spoke before, they come back up here. So it's not like we're having nothing but all new speakers. So we're trying to go ahead, because there's been a lot of people trying to get up here and talk tonight and stuff. So we'll go ahead and dark and lovely. I'm going to drop you down for a second, sister. But, I don't mind people coming back up to speak. We just try to get the new speakers in as much as possible, and been trying to free up spaces as well, too, because now we got like 3 people requesting to come up here. So we're going to go ahead and drop some people down. Y'all stay in the request. I'm going to go ahead and get to y'all as quick as possible. I see we got no taxation. We got Rella, Volvo. I'll get back to you because Volvo, you spoke quite a bit too. So I'm going to get back to you in a second as well too. Let me go ahead and get to real quick. Let me Miss T. Yeah, Miss T, go ahead, Miss T, and then we're going to get the Mel too.
Can you get me so that I can drop?
Who just said that? Who said that?
I'm not trying to be obnoxious. This love I am. I only spoke one other time, but I'm about to go to bed.
Okay, now you'd have to ask Miss T because Miss T is a new speaker, and
I mean after them. I don't mean.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Give me a second. Miss T, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up, Newstoter, Professor? How are you both doing?
What's going on, Mr. T?
Hey, I'm hanging in here. I got my certification, so I am done with my class. So I am ready for the big leagues now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Rella, it's good to see you. I have missed you. No taxation.
Oh, Miss T, I missed you guys too. It's good to hear you. Congratulations, beautiful.
Thank you. Hey, I got a question for Guardian, because I noticed that, is he still in the space?
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay. I see him. Okay, because he has an avatar, and I kind of checked out his page, and he doesn't have really any information about him. I guess he's a cartoon artist or whatever. But I would like to know from him, has he gone to his people, his community, and had talks with them about why they're so disrespectful to Black Americans, and what do they expect from us when they are showing us so much disrespect? Do they not think it's going to be retaliated? So is your first step coming to us? And then what makes you feel comfortable enough to come to us about the word tether? And lastly, the word tether does not apply to every foreign person. It's for the coons. We have our coons, y'all have coons as well. So tell me, have you spoken with them? What do they say? Do they not give a damn? And if that's the case, it's just going to be what it is.
Yeah, so can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so my parents are from Jamaica. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, all right? So everyone around me was like West Indian, Caribbean. So I went to like a Haitian-controlled elementary school. I went to a Black-owned, West Indian like controlled high school, and then I graduated. I went to some HBCUs, colleges and universities, and Howard University and stuff. And in all of my life, right, from my mother, my relatives, my people in school. I have never in my life ever heard a Caribbean person say a negative word about Black Americans. Instead, I learned my Black pride from my teachers who had some West Indian background and stuff like that, you know? So I have personally never seen it. And I was pointing out, like even Newstoter, he said himself that most of the people he knows, right, West Indian stuff, he's cool with them because he came up in Seventh-day Adventist church, right? Me too, I actually did too. And I went to Seventh-day Adventist schools. But what I'm saying is that I have never in my life, and so Newstoter also says the majority of the people he know are cool with Black people, right? So I'm trying to say that as humans, we have a tendency to emphasize the negative experiences that we have. So I'm trying to, even like with my mother, I asked my mother about this situation, and she told me the only person she has heard talking negatively about Black American is the most ignorant, uneducated person in the area that everybody knows what they're on. So the thing is that we cannot allow these little negative, these ignorant individuals here and there help to create this tribalism. All right. Now, always remember that Cointelpro is playing a role in it. From the 1950s, right, up to now, the Cointelpro group is in the immigration office prepping immigrants as they come over. Some of them who are ignorant and stuff like that, no education, will believe this stuff. My mother, she just ignored all of that stuff. You understand? And then on YouTube, I hear some people from Sudan saying that they know all of that stuff is not true, that they're telling them at the immigration office. But what I'm trying to emphasize is let's not allow Cointelpro to trick us into fighting each other, okay? Because there are Black immigrants, Black first generation, second, third generation, who are in 100% support of the Black movement and efforts for liberation here in the United States. You know, in the past, you had people like Tom Michael.
You said all that earlier, but you said that you've never heard anybody call Black Americans anything negative. But have you seen any foreign Black people support Black causes, like what Dark and Lovely said? Have you seen any of that? Are you all with us or you're against us? Because what you're talking about, you're trying to put it all on white people on COINTEL. We're telling you it's our lived experiences, okay? And you seem to try to discard those. Ain't nobody got to sit up here and lie about what's going on. I shouldn't even know the word Akata. I shouldn't even know the word Jareer. And I shouldn't even know, well, what was it, the dirty Yankee and all of that. But you yourself said your mother was told by her first boss and by someone in the office of New Americas or whatever it was when she came to America. You yourself said that whoever that was told them, don't hang. I don't know if they used the word Black Americans because I don't know how long ago your mama was over here. But something you saying ain't adding up. You're saying that you've never heard any foreign Black people say anything about us, but you hear us calling people tethers. Some ain't adding up, Guardians. And that's Avatar, I don't even know who we're really dealing with. And if y'all check out his page, you're not gonna know much about him. So I'll just go ahead and land my plane and let someone else go. But something about you ain't right. I'm just not feeling it.
The government.
All right, Miss T. Thank you, Miss T. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and because I see, what do we have?
It was Mel.
Okay, I know we got Mel. Let me drop you down, Miss T. We're gonna let up some new speakers. As everybody speaks now, we're gonna go ahead and start dropping people down. Let me just tell everybody, nobody's intentionally trying to bypass anybody, anything like that. So I'm just letting everybody know that there's a lot of people in the space. We've missed people. We had people up, so nobody's intentionally trying to bypass anybody in this space right here. Let me go ahead and get to Mel. Mel, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, shout out to the fam. Thanks, Newstoter, for letting me speak. And what a heck of a space. You know, here's the biggest problem. And shout out that real damn. Hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shout out to Dark and Love. Couldn't hear her, and I had to log on to the desktop to make sure that to hear what she was saying, and she damn near took every word out of my mouth. She was spot on with it. And my biggest problem with this whole thing is, and Guardian, this is for you. The biggest problem is that why come into a room and bring your issue and your issue compared to what this room stands for, the people in this room stand for, what we're fighting for, what we're strategizing about. Your issue about being called a tether is minuscule compared to what we've been through. And the insult is that we can't, you and others who hold your position don't ever seem to come in a room and support and supplement what we're talking about. It's always about distract, and now here's why my feelings are bruised. You know what? Maybe what you said, Guardian, is right. Maybe you've never heard a mumbling word about a Black American. That part don't even matter, because of all the people in this room, we've heard it. We've heard it to our face. And because we are standing for reparations, doesn't mean we're against you. And that's what I'm talking about Dark and Lovely. She said it right. If we're not trying to fight you, we're not trying to be against you, but what you aren't trying to do, and those who stand in support and see it from your view, y'all are not supporting us. We don't need you to go back. If the people you run with cannot or will not tolerate you speaking words of support or doing action in support of what we are pursuing, which is reparations, then you probably need to stay over there, unless you're going to come over here. And I mean in spaces like this. Unless you're going to come over here and speak support. We don't have time to go back and forth about a tether and a word and a name and things of that nature. We don't have time for that, because what we're fighting about is more important. I would like to hear you said, oh yeah, I know the history. How in God's name do you know the history when they've been holding back our history and still holding back our history, and then you're not even of the lineage? So now you're trying to tell us that you know all of our history and you support it. Don't do that. That's insulting. So don't do that. Either stand in support with us or initiate your own claim. And one thing I would like to hear you respond to, and after this, I will land. What about all these other ethnicities? Because I can't think of the word right now. What about all the Caribbeans and the Haitians and all of these other melanated people groups that have a right to reparations based on the country from which they came from? And they were, yes, dogged the hell out. Y'all are pursuing, or these other groups are pursuing reparations, and they are not minutes about Black Americans. But somehow, we're supposed to stop and be concerned about whether you're called a tether or we use any other word, because we really don't give a damn what y'all calling us at this point. Just call us when the check is ready. And if you'd like to address that, I'd like to hear it. And Toter, thanks for letting me speak. Shout out to everybody in the room. Y'all know I love y'all. I'm out.
All right. Thank you, Mel. Go ahead real quick, Guardian.
Okay, so I posted in the Jumbotron.
Guardian, come on.
I posted
Wait,
in the Jumbotron.
hold on. Go, sister. I know you saying that you got to go to bed and stuff like that, And I feel you. She asked him a question. He was going to respond. Matter of fact, love, I am. Since you're saying that you got to go to bed, go ahead, sister, real quick. I'm going to give you real quick. I'm going to let you jump everybody else because I know you're saying that you got to go or whatever. It's not that serious. And let me just say that to everybody up in the space as well, too. Because I've been getting DMs. And I've been hearing a bunch of mumbling and grumbling. I've been seeing a bunch of damn posts and stuff, people whining and stuff like that. Really, it's kind of starting to get a little bit to me. Nobody's intentionally screwing anybody over in this space. Let me just say that. Nobody's trying to ignore this person or go over this person or insult this person or any of this other stuff. So I don't know exactly what's going on. It's a space about a conversation that actually Guardian himself DM'd me for and wanted to actually have this topic about, So let me go ahead. Love, I am. Go ahead, please, sister, and speak.
Okay, you have me misunderstood because I didn't message you or put anything in the
I didn't say you messaged me, sister. I'm saying that it's been a bunch of other people sitting up in the space. But sister, I'm hearing you huffing and puffing like, oh God.
I'm about to tell you why. Because the thing about it is he's just one Black immigrant. He's just one person. And so it's like everybody's directing their questions towards him and he's just one person with a perspective. And so it wasn't about the time frame. I'm the one that reminded you that you said, Miss T, you said all the new speakers are going to go first. I was fine with that. I knew I already spoke. It wasn't about the time. It's because he's just one immigrant, like one Black immigrant. Like his perspective is just limited to him. It doesn't even give like a veracity of like perspective anyways. But I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be obnoxious. You can make me wait until he was about to go.
No, go ahead, sister. Go ahead and get it in.
All I was going to say was that it's not a healthy position. He's someone who, he did state that he said, I am second generation, but I grew up Black American. And he didn't see the harm in that, but that was him having the ability to ascribe to our ethnic group. That is a problem when you have a people who have been economically disenfranchised. You have a people group who have literally been forcefully deculturalized through slavery and have only had the option to call themselves Black. So when you have other people coming here who are able to ascribe to your ethnic identifier, that itself is a problem. Then we are engaging in these conversations that they're kind of in the realm of narcissism, because what narcissists do is they devalue who they're speaking to and who they're dealing with. They devalue their target. And so when you have people who are saying, well, I know a bunch of immigrants who have high offices in the military, who are professors at Harvard, and they have all of these points, and then they say, so you want to be careful not to call them tethers because you don't want to isolate those people. That's narcissism. The reality of the matter is the only reason why those people have those positions is because of Black Americans. So you can't engage with Black Americans by devaluing their position and those people being able to ascribe to that status. And so when they do put that into the Black American community, that's what they should do. That's called reciprocity. And so when I was stating earlier that we are engaging in non-reciprocal relationships, it's because I don't see where Caribbean and African people have afforded Black American people the opportunity to leverage a position in their countries and be able to pay it back. So it's non-reciprocal in that regard. And there's a devaluation when you have a person speaking from having the inability to recognize where they, in fact, benefited from our group, and that whatever they do towards our group now would be the reciprocity of it all. So what has happened is because white supremacy is a diabolical narcissism, you have people who, when they get here, they are participating in it inadvertently. They don't even realize. You don't realize that it was said earlier that Cointelpro They just want us to be against one another. Well, that's a disingenuous talking point. The reason being is because Black American people, it totally evades our history in this country. We were a minority. We literally had atrocity done to our people group, genocide, in fact. If you go and you look up the definition of genocide per the UN.gov website, genocide that occurred on this American soil towards our people group. So the only thought process that we've had is to be able to romanticize what it would look like to have more Black people. So I think that it's kind of disrespectful for people to say that white people can infiltrate us so much that just have us viewing negatively other Black people just off. Like, doesn't make sense. Okay? That doesn't make sense at all. That's like not even intelligent even to say that. The reality of the matter is our ancestors, all we could do was romanticize what it would look like to be a majority. And the only reference point that we had was the African continent. And so there was that romanticization of what it would look like. But if I was a white supremacist and I knew what Africa looked like, which is a lot of discord and tribalism, I might try to bring some of them over here who have that same mentality. Because when you get into, y'all not having the real conversation. You having a, I don't even know what to call it, and I'm going to get back to you on the term. I might even start a room about the term, because it's all rooted in cognitive dissonance. And then I heard a guy come up here, and he kind of said some nigga shit, because when he was talking about how, we just need to focus on getting money, and if you just blah, 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 blah. First of all, I'm not trying to be funny. My being is actualized. My throat chakra is open, okay? So I'm going to use my mouth to speak. I think other groups are frustrated with Negro people because we are able to get in spaces, openly speak about our grievances, and then have solutions for them. Do you understand how blessed of a place that is to be? Do you know how many cultures, they can't even talk about the stuff that affect them negatively? But here we are in a space using our vocal cord. Our ancestors died, sacrificed, so that we can be here today, so that they can use our vessels to speak through us. We are a blessed people. It's a privilege. It's a blessing to be able to open your mouth, to say what is hurting you, and speak about it. It's gaslighting and it's narcissism to say we're complaining when we've always been a solution-oriented people, and people have been able to directly benefit from our solutions. Whatever we ever focused our consciousness on, these people have benefited. How are you going to get in a space and come from the narcissistic, devaluing, low vibrational place to say, oh, y'all are just complaining, you just want to punch down? No, we're punching. We're the solution. We always have been. We don't have to punch down. Our ancestors gave us the platform to have the visibility that other people are literally coming here and ascribing to our identity. If we didn't have that, they would just come over here and say, I'm Jamaican American, I'm Haitian American. No, they're saying, I'm Jamaican, but I grew up Black American. That's oxymoronic, okay? Please stop letting people, one thing I'm going to teach my children, and I'm telling you this right now, you are the standard. What you think about a thing is the only thing that's going to contribute to a Negro consciousness. A Haitian American thinking on something, a Jamaican American thinking on something that pertains to our lineage, that doesn't contribute to anything. And I want you to know you are the standard. Even with white people, you are the standard. Period. That's what I'm teaching my children. Don't engage in non-reciprocal relationships. Don't engage in narcissistic dynamic. Don't engage in relationship where the foundation is those people devaluing you. Don't engage in unevenly yoked dynamic. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not a low vibrational thing to be able to effectively communicate what is harming you. Because the next step is going to be solutions. That's how we're wired as Negro people. So I don't even know what these people are talking about at this point, because y'all not having the real conversation. And it does seem a little bit narcissistic for people to get on stage and say some of the stuff they're saying. We never hated these people. We didn't have pejoratives for these people. Period. Stop saying that. That's disrespectful to our ancestors. Stop saying that white people are able to control our thought. No, they weren't able to gauge the consciousness of the Negro. That's why they've had their foot on our neck the whole time. They can't figure out what the fuck we're thinking about. They know what you're thinking about when you come here and you take an oath of allegiance and you forfeit your ability to petition for what you should be petitioning for, which is your country. They know what you're thinking about. They don't know what I'm thinking about. They don't know what I'm talking to my children about in my house. And it's not hate, because that's the frequency, and I won't let that permeate my vessel. So with that being said, I'm going to land there. But please stop. Narcissism should not be the standard by which we engage with one another.
Okay, thank you.
Can I speak?
Let me real quick, because we got a bunch of speakers up here, so I need to go ahead and try to get to them real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to point out, like, you know, the Cointelpro tribalism problem, you know, that's a real thing. Cointelpro was able to trick the Black Panther Party members into shooting and killing each other. Okay, they managed to accomplish a lot and to really destroy the community by tricking the community into tribalism. Likewise, all over Africa, they just trick people. Even to this day, people are being tricked into tribalism. So what I'm trying to emphasize is, let's not allow them to trick us into tribalism, where all of a sudden the fight is this Black immigrant, that Black immigrant. When you look at the thing, you look at the numbers for immigration, you see it's millions of Mexicans coming over here and all this other stuff to replace Black Americans. Okay, so I'm on the side of Black people. All right. Now we also mentioned, okay, so Cointelpro tribalism is a reality. We don't want any infighting among us. I support, right, or everything like folk are doing here in America. You understand? And I have a program. My whole life is dedicated to it. Okay. You know, tribalism has us kind of looking like fools and clowns, you know, when we're fighting each other. You fighting this Black man, the other Black man, and so on, when it's the white man who got the reparation money. All right? So I'm just saying, let's not do that. Let's just focus on going straight to the money, okay? Of the lineage, you know, I just want to point out once again that in the Jumbotron I put down from 1660 to 1739, more than 2,000 slaves were shipped to New York from Jamaica and vice versa. Okay, basically, a lot of Black people here who were, you know, slaves in America was sent all over the place. So that's the reason why when you say of the lineage, it's like we're all the same people. You understand? So of the lineage goes back to Africa. I just Black American is like a whole experience.
Okay, Guardian. I know, because I know you're gonna go back down that path, but I got to go ahead and get to some of the speakers that haven't had a chance to speak yet, as well as the ones that have. So let me come back to that point there, what you're saying, but let me go ahead and get to some of the new speakers. Let me get to
Toter, can I just say one thing and then I'll just jump up off the stage?
Yeah, real quick, Mel.
Okay, real quick. So here's and Darren said it. He said it recently. And the bottom line is this: when we're talking about reparations for Black Americans, it is because of the experience that we had, that our ancestors endured in this country. So it's not about that we don't have things in common and that there are, you know, zero commonalities. But the thing that sets it all apart is the fact that our people, our ancestors, our lineage was enslaved in this country from Jump Street. And if you know the history, if you know that part of the history, then you need to get behind us. Because this is not tribalism. It is us fighting for what was promised to our ancestors and then reneged upon. That's all that is. So if you know that piece of the history, then get with us or get gone. And that's just really all there is to it. If you support us, get with the program. If you don't, do you. But we should not be spending hours on hours talking about, well, you got a Band-Aid because they called me a Tether. You got some salve because they called me this and they called me that. You don't even got time to know what they called our ancestors and all this, that, and 2/3. Thank you, Newstoter. Shout out to the room.
All right.
I'm off the stage.
Thank you, Mel. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to Rella. Let me get to no taxation, and then we're gonna Trenton as well too, and then we're gonna work it back around to the previous speakers. Go ahead, Rella.
Hey, brother. Hey, Newstoter, Professor, everybody in the room. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, Rella?
You know, it's weird that we are again back at this pinnacle point where it seems like people who come in from other countries, whether you're first, second, or third generation, that you have no other attachment to this country other than someone's blackness, if you will. And you try to minimize the historical reference of people's genealogy individually and truly erase people's identity by trying to blanket everyone as being just black. When in fact, if that was the case, then culturally, Black power and what we represent and practice here culturally, other groups, melanated or otherwise, would also have the same autonomy and the same experience, and they don't. In fact, they don't become Black until after they either marry someone who is a Black American, or they come into the environment and start to deep dive into the culture, and then all of a sudden now, you know, they are somehow calling themselves Black, when prior to that, everyone was represented by their nationality. Ethnicity, unfortunately, is not all the same for everyone. So that, again, is that blanketed statement that I'm hearing. But I don't hear a lot of nuances behind the discussion from people from other countries talking about what the experiences of Black Americans are. But yet but you're moving into spaces where Black Americans are while saying, oh, we don't have no culture. Y'all don't know who y'all are. You're lost people. Well, you know, and this, that, and the third, when actually we have rich culture. We actually have a lot of the inventions of people who created a lot of the things that people use around the world, who were able to monetize off of our existence. Our language transformed the world. Even so much so that you had someone who is not of the lineage literally on CNN talking about they created a dictionary by way of utilizing our twang or our language to say that, oh, well, these are things that we're picking up from the African American dialect, but not once was Tutanese actually mentioned in that discovery. And so it makes me pause when we have these discussions, because we limit them on people pressing us to let them further in and rob the house. I no longer subscribe to domestic terrorist threats. That's how I look at it. If I can't keep my autonomy in the room full of Black people or melanated people, whether you're from the Caribbean and everywhere else, and I can say I am Black American descendant, I'm from a freedman, Negro people who come from different classifications, walks of life, and we have a self-experience based on what my family's last name was given to us here in the United States of America, then you are not my friend. You are a foe to me. If you are telling me that you attended HBCUs and your experiences is this, that, and the third, and trust me, Twitter's not the only one having this discussion. They're having this discussion on all over social media platforms, TikTok, one of them as well. And you hear people from other countries and their disdain on how Black Americans are delineating Even so much so they subscribe everyone to being FBA and ADOS and these things instead of actually looking at it as all one. That lets me know they don't know our history, because anyone who knows our history would recognize that regardless of the fractures of what people subscribe to, we're all talking about the same people here in America. The lineage here in America. Not my genealogy as an individual, because you didn't ask me what my genealogy was as an individual and what my family's last name was. You didn't ask that. So I'm sorry. I don't, again, appreciate it. I do think it is very disrespectful, and it is an erasure that I think other groups, I know other groups are going to have to find their place in being okay with the fact that we are recognized and we have already recognized ourselves. We don't need your approval. We don't need you to tell us that Cointelpro did this, that, and the third. Cointelpro actually used immigrants to infiltrate Black organizations, melanated immigrants. So if we want to wake this all the way up, we're going to be honest. Cointelpro didn't tell random people from other countries to start doing what they've done in the last year or so in regards to Black people speaking about our history here in America, even so much so that you went after Dr. Charity, you went after even our civil rights leaders. You even went after and started talking about how reparations shouldn't be given to Black Americans because it makes us lazy. I posted a video on the Jumbotron. An African doctor teamed up with an Asian troll to dismantle the DEI program in North Carolina University, to say that Black Americans do not need resources and assistance when it comes to getting into the educational system there to become doctors. So when we say that it's only one person on the platform, he's not one person that we've dealt with. He's one of many, of a person who has an ideology that tries to, again, rob our community of its autonomy. That is not right. And I'm tired of people robbing our home. You've taken all the furniture. You've taken the damn blinds. We almost have nothing left. And then you turn around and say, well, we march with you with Black Lives Matter. Well, if Black Lives Matter, then you should have came into this country and you should have made sure that you knew about the people here and respected the culture of the people here, so much so that you will fight to the teeth to preserve it. But you're not doing that. Juneteenth is coming up. I ain't heard not one immigrant talk about how they respect the fact that there are so many people that have a rich history behind Juneteenth. We've had countless spaces about supporting reparations, supporting people who have organizations that have been around the country fighting for the uncovering of more and more history that is happening in regards to our culture here. But no, what do you get? Nigerians in Texas creating an organization that they keep Black Americans out of. You get people creating enclaves that they keep Black Americans out of, so much so that they make it a point to say, oh, you know who they are. So I don't want to hear that it was the Office of New Americas. I don't want to hear that it was, the Winnie the Pooh and the stars in the sky, because we go off of what we see and what we hear. And from what I see with my ears, and I hear with my eyes, listening. No more. No more. And our voice will be utilized to say, we will put you on notice. You can be an ally, but we will put you on notice that you will not erase us and you will not utilize Cointelpro, because Cointelpro is not everything. Some of that is culturally ingrained, and a lot of that is taught behavior, and we have picked up on it, and we say, no more. You cannot have any more of us. We are preserving it for ourselves. Period. And I land. Thank you, Newstoter.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Let me go ahead. We're trying to get Trouble up here. I know she was dark and lovely. Trouble, if you're trying to come back up here, request to come back up here. I'm going to just start dropping speakers because we're getting ready. We're going to be closing this space out soon, y'all. We've been going over 3 hours, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and our speakers also, I'm going to start giving everybody 2 minutes to go ahead and get it in. So we're gonna be closing this space out in a little bit. Like I said, we've been going since what time? Since 8 o'clock. So we want to go ahead and get the people in and then get them out real quick because we will be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trouble, I thought I said okay, you up here. I see you, Trouble, up here. So yeah, let's go ahead. Give each speaker 2 minutes. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go to no taxation. And these are and we're not going to, anybody else that's requesting tonight, guys, we'll have to catch us another night. We're going to go no taxation. I'm going to get Trouble in here. I'm going to go no taxation. I'm going to get Trent in here. I'm going to get Trouble in here. Then we'll move it around to the other speakers, but that's it for the night. Nobody else raise your hand. We will catch y'all another night, guys. Let me go ahead and get to no taxation. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing, I was up here watching the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa massacre. It's a documentary. And listening to the conversation at the same time. How you doing? Newstoter, how you doing? And everybody in the room?
Oh,
y'all are good.
Oh, we doing good. We doing good.
I don't know what had happened, but something had happened. I gotta check around and ask around and find out what happened because you all are on fire tonight. And let me gather my thoughts and bear with me, Newstoter. Because I don't know what happened. I was in the last space and I was trying to track it down, and apparently somebody said something or wrote something or did something, and it set all of us off. First thing I want to say is I hope they write some more because ain't nothing like somebody against us writing something about us to make us more unified. See, I love it. They didn't do nothing but strengthen us, and that's a good thing. This guy, Guardian, I looked over because, of course, I listened to what Miss T said about his account. So I went on over there and looked for myself, And he had a list of things that Black immigrants did for us in this country. But I think maybe what he's not understanding is that we did all that before you came. We had doctors and lawyers and engineers and all that kind of stuff. So that means nothing. You didn't do that for us. You did it for yourselves. The only reason that dark-skinned people come to this country is because they really can't go to other countries. You see what happened when they tried to get out of Ukraine. They wouldn't even let them Africans get on a plane, would they? See, what we've got to understand, Black folks, Black American folks, because I always say Black folks, meaning us. Black is, I come from the Black Power movement, so, and also, too, Stokely Carmichael did not start that. That had started way back in earlier times. And living in New York, I will tell you this. New York is the most segregated city in the country. And so you live in a bubble if you live in New York City. If you're born and raised in New York City, you live in a bubble. Because people, they live amongst the people that they come from. And the United States of America is one of the only country that I know about that accepts everybody, and people flock to it because they think there's opportunities, especially dark-skinned people. You know, people with melanin in them. They come here because there is opportunity. And the reason there is opportunity is because we made it so. See? And you wouldn't be here and be able to thrive had we not made it so. And so you have to recognize that you're standing on the shoulders and on the soil of where giants come from. We are the most copied, hated, loved people on this earth, Black Americans are. And we have to accept who we are and our standing in the world. Now, peep this. This is just a little game. Like I said, bear with me. Remember when the word Karen came out? Everybody was counting. And white folks all up in arms. Now they want to sue and take it to the court. And calling somebody a Karen is just like calling somebody the N-word, except for ain't a Karen died because they're a Karen. Okay? So you could call somebody a Karen and it means nothing, just like the word Tether. The reason it hurts them so bad is because of the power that we hold. See, we put the sting in. We did that. That's why they don't like the word, because of the power that we hold. And we have to recognize that. And I'm not saying change it. Because, you know, listen, it is what it is. Okay? I'm not saying it's right or wrong or left or right. I'm saying that this is the power that only Black Americans have. Okay? And that's a brand new word. And already everybody is up in arms about it, just like the word Karen. Everybody's all up in arms about what we say. Well, the reason everybody stays up in arms is because we are the moral compass of this country. Don't nothing move in this country without us. And as far as that Cointelpro stuff, baby, that's old news. We don't worry about all that. That's y'all. That's for y'all to worry about. See, they're not even really after us no more because they have economically disadvantaged us so bad. They looking at you, melanated people that come from these other countries, the Indies, the West Indies, and Africans, and all that kind of stuff. They getting ready to get some new ones out, and they're a little bit lighter than you. See, what you don't understand about this country, baby, is that color counts. It just is what it is. And the closer you look to white, the more you will succeed. That's the reason that people from Jamaica live around Jamaicans. People from Haiti live around Haitians. People from Brazil live around Brazilians. And people like to live around the people that they know about, that they think alike with. So that ain't nothing. That ain't no big thing. I resent the fact that anybody is telling us how we need to move or speak in this country on any level. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't even care if you're a Black American. What we're not going to do in this country, in this one, is be told what we need to say and how we need to say it. We're not doing that. Because, see, this is America. We have free speech just like white folks do. I don't know if you heard about it. White folks got free speech, and so do we. You know why we have free speech? Not because it's in the Constitution, because Black folks fought for it. Black Americans did that. We had a handful of people coming from other countries when I was coming up, because I'm a woman of a particular age, but we didn't have as many as we have now.
Hey, no taxation. Not to rush you, sister, but we're gonna be closing the space out in a second. So I'm
okay. Let me get off of here. If you get called a name, it is what it is. This is America. Folks call each other names. Period. And I'm gonna leave it there.
all right. Thank you, sister. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I think Trent was before me.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Trent, my bad. Go ahead, Trent, and then Trouble. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Episode, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, but the word tether, man, look, if they don't like the word tether, so what? You know, I go to truck stops every night and I hear from these different groups of people call us, you know, N-word
over this, they lazy this, they lazy that, or whatever. So, man, we got so much to worry about. And I don't care if your feelings hurt because we go you Tether. So what? You know what I mean? Right now, it's getting real serious with this because they in politics now. You know what I mean? They got the lieutenant governor down there in Virginia. She told black folks we need to get over slavery. So I don't care how you feel about black Americans saying, calling you with Tether. So what? You got ACON telling us to get over slavery and don't worry about reparations. So if your feelings hurt, so what? I'm out. Peace, brother.
All right. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you, Trent. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter, DJ, and Professor. Shout out to everybody in the group. Much love to you. Everybody has pretty much spoke my thoughts, so I don't need to be long-winded, Professor. I just wanted to send some love to the group. And on the topic, stop using the word tether. Everybody's pretty much said what I was going to say, especially taxation just came in on that Cointelpro tip, which I was going to reiterate myself because I know it's been said in different ways as well. We Black Americans, we know what Cointelpro is. We've been through that. Cointelpro is something that you need to speak to your people about. These other Black nations need to understand what Cointelpro is. The vexing that we get from you all isn't part of Cointelpro. It's part of your culture. It's part of your nature. It's part of what it is that you want to do on an individual level. And so I think it's very petty for anybody to tell us that we need to do a space or ask for a space or come to us and say, we want you to stop using the word tether. As it's been noted, that is a relatively new word. And it is a new word on top of all of the words that we've always been called from other Black nations. So to be so petty as to say what we want, you want us to stop using the word tether? That's what you want? You don't want to dismantle the system of white supremacy. You want us to stop using the word tether. You don't want to, and like my mama used to tell me, there's nothing wrong with wanting. You can want for whatever the hell you want. I mean, I would like to wake up in the morning. I want to win the Mega Millions. I got a lot of wants. I want to go back to the time frame when my mama was still alive. There's a lot of things that I want. I want $1 million. I want my reparations. You can want what you want, but anything worth wanting and worth having is worth fighting for. So if you want us to stop using the word tether, then what are you willing to give in return? What are you willing to do? The question was asked, and it was never answered. And it's never answered anytime it's asked. Anytime the question comes and when we say, what are you talking to your people about? Have you talked to your people and asked your people to stop vexing Black Americans, to work with Black Americans, to align yourself with Black Americans? What are you willing to give to Black Americans? What are you willing to do for us? Where are the conversations that foreigners are having who call themselves our allies? What are you talking about to your people? That question has never been answered, but yet it's ran through, and they'll come back and say, well, I don't hear a lot of us, saying anything. You think this word tether just came out of thin air? You know that word didn't come up out of thin air. You know what it is. But you would like to pretend that, I don't know why you all are calling us tethers. We've never done anything to you. That's bull sniggity. That's that Jimmy Blackard bull sniggity. Since Toter said I couldn't cuss and I'm trying to use my alternative words, that's that bull sniggity. The question has never been answered, and we got to get to the point where we start being 100% real. Well, not we. You foreign Blacks have got to start being real with yourself and start having these conversations with your people and stop coming to us. Don't come back to us again until you had these conversations with your people. And then on the flip side, we've got Black Americans who, I don't want to say you're Pan-Africanist, but you Pan-African life when you come up in the space and the conversation is about the goddamn y'all want to keep coming sideways with this nonsensical foolishness. Cut that Jimmy Blackson foolishness out. So I'm going to land my plane, because I said I wasn't going to be long-winded, Professor. But y'all got to stop being petty. Tether, that's what you want? I'm going to need you to want something more in life than that petty. I'm going to say it. I'm going to need you to want something more than that petty shit right there. That's that bullshit. Y'all have a good night. Much love. All right. Thank you, Trouble. Let me go ahead and get to Dana. Dana, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. Sorry. I was eating something. Yeah, so just my closing remarks. Honey, you want to have a hot mess tomorrow night, but I'm going to protest your space tomorrow night, Newstoter, because I really don't feel appreciated, but that's all right. Let me stop. So I just want to say, you know, this is an interesting conversation, and I'm glad Guardian, you know, he had enough courage, honey, to want to talk about this. So I got to give him that. But I know one of the things, like, I don't go around calling people names. However, there's some conversations that I have with people, I can tell that they're a Tether or not. One of them is when I do say to someone, specifically a Black immigrant, but I also say it to other immigrants as well, other immigrants of color. But I say, do you know, if it wasn't for the Civil Rights Movement, the Immigration Nationality Act of 1965, which Black people pushed for, you know, that's why you're here. And so when people say you're here because of us, let's be specific. Let's go back to public policy, because if you want to talk about Cointelpro, we got to go a little bit deeper than that. You have to go back to public policy. If we want to talk about white supremacy, you have to talk about public policy. We specifically said to repeal the Immigration Act. So the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 was or whatever you want to call it, the quota system to allow Black people throughout the diaspora, particularly come here. But like I said earlier in the beginning, and other times I came up, people that came here prior to 2000, different mindset. But the people afterwards is two different mindsets. So anybody, and I had a lot of pushback, especially from Ethiopians, but anybody that pushed back on that, I know automatically where they stand, right? Particularly how they feel about Black Americans. You also have to look at classism there in the Caribbean and here. Yes, you had classism in the Caribbean, and you still do. Whereas people in your country, in Jamaica and other Caribbean countries, that don't mess with certain type of other people. We have that here amongst our own. We always did. Going back to slavery, because you keep bringing up slavery, how slaves came imported from Jamaica to here, that was in the beginning. Because you have to understand, we experienced chattel slavery here in America. So yes, we experienced the same thing when we talk about being colonized, enslaved, but it was two different experiences. In Jamaica, you guys did invent dirty dopes. So again, going back to classism, you do treat your own badly. Just like Black Americans here, we have what we call coons here. So the word tether is just a word, and it's so much deeper than that. So when we talk about Black people throughout the diaspora, we have to understand that we are colonized mentally, socially, and psychologically. Let's just keep it above. So I'm just saying it's deeper than that word tether. And it's a long history. Yes, it's Cointelpro. Yes, it's white supremacy. And yes, it's public policies as well. So I just think we just need to be more aware of how we interact with each other and educating ourselves so that we're not talking in ignorance going forward. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Dana. Let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engaging. Mr. Engaging, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna get right to the point with this because this brother Guardian is he's culturally indifferent with our room and our people in the room, with the majority of the people in the room. I guarantee you, if you ask him, we talking about lineage-based reparations, he ain't gonna be for it because he ain't gonna get a dime from it, and I'm gonna make sure he ain't gonna get a dime. And I'm gonna be so funky with y'all guys about this is that I feel like this man is coming to a Black American space and trying to police what Negroes are trying to say, think, or do. That's the problem with y'all immigrants. Y'all come into our spaces thinking y'all can control what we got going on over here, and that's no go. That's the reason why we delineate. That's the reason why you see my swords up, ready to cut y'all out the paint. Also, I want to touch upon about these immigrants crying about the word tether. If you feel some type of way about it, why don't you get your happy behind on out of here then? Why you here then? There's a plane ticket where you can hop on the next plane to go back to your country and build it up correctly. If you feel some type of way and you don't want to be around the Negroes that are calling you a tether. So all them tears don't mean a damn thing to me. They're like white women tears that I drink out of my freaking cup every day. That's how I feel about it to you, Guardian. And it's chumps like you that come to our country telling us how we should move when you couldn't even hack it in your country because you're a damn coward. And I'm going to call you that right off the rip. You're a coward. And anybody that's co-signing this dude, you might as well say they're cowards too. And I'm so riled up about it, my cat's crumped about this too. Because she ain't feeling this either. Because this is a bunch of shenanigans. You out here complaining about the word tether, and we're economically deprived. We're getting out here getting...
Oh, my bad. I'm over here hitting the button. My mistake.
No, I know you laugh. I know you laughing, brother. Because you know I'm gonna lay in. Because we out here getting lynched, we out here getting killed, and we got a tethered person right now in office in New York saying, bring in more immigrants. So, nah, brother, I don't care about how you feel. I find it disrespectful that you come into a Black American household and tell us what we're gonna put the TV channel to. See, I want to see you come to the other immigrants' households and tell them to switch the TV channel from all the other things they be saying about us, calling us nigga and cotton picker and everything else. But I know you ain't got the heart to do it because your ass ran. You ran from your country. But yet still you want to come over here and tell us how to move. This is why we delineating. This is why the swords are up. And this is why we're going to take y'all out the paint and call ICE. If you like it or not. You can leave out in handcuffs or you can leave out in a body bag. One of the two. But you're not going to be here up in the American house telling me what to do. I'm telling you that right now.
All right. Thank you, Miss
I'm about to call Peter because you're driving your cat crazy.
Oh, nah, see, you a snitch on a Black man, but you won't snitch on an immigrant. I see how you roll.
All right.
You're telling on yourself.
No. My cat is excited because he knows a Black man. See, you attack the Black man, Dana. You're attacking a Black man, but you won't attack the immigrant.
The fire snapback.
Yes, I would snitch on you before I animal. Yes.
See, you don't have no respect for the Black man life. See, I'll put a Black woman life over a damn animal any day because I respect human life.
Oh, my stomach.
Hey, Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Well, I say what I'm going to say. I'm going to like to ask Guardian a question. What's the number one?
Wait, Fred. Don't ask him a question because we're trying to get up out the space. Straight up.
No, this is short. It's just a short question. It ain't nothing long like that. I'm just asking him what would be his number one agenda he's going to support this upcoming election. Stop the tribalism. Okay.
See, it ain't reparations, what we want.
Right. Okay, no, wait. Was that really his answer? Stop the tribalism. Okay. Now, let me explain to you how you do that. The number one agenda you should be supporting is reparations specifically for Black Americans, descendants of U.S. slaves. Because when you're talking about these Jamaicans that came over, that was before 1870. We ain't got no issue with somebody receiving reparations at that point. Some were still being brought from Africa at that point. But like the sisters said, like Dark and Lovely and Miss T, when you start going to your people, and when you start seeing them speaking against us, like trying to undermine our reparations, you need to get hip deep off in their ass, because here's the problem. All that's gonna happen is if that keeps up, you're gonna have people that are gonna be Black Americans that are gonna be 100% to any type of plight or struggle that any immigrant, not just the Black ones, mainly the non-Black ones, but the Black ones are gonna catch some of this too. You're gonna be 100% unsympathetic to any type of plight you're going to have coming on your own. Now, we already know. See, I've already had my issues with a lot of immigrants, because I don't see how you could be 80% of a country and you still getting slapped around by a white man and a white woman. But, like I said, your number one agenda, and you can spread this to, because like I say, you came in this room solo, and I'm not really, like I'm not really trying to go all in, but you need to go to your circle to say, look, our number one agenda should be getting reparations specifically for Black Americans, descendants of U.S. slaves. Now, I'm mute.
All right. Thank you, Fred. Let me go ahead and get to Stephanie. Go ahead, and then I'm gonna get to you, Dark and Lovely.
You can go to Dark and Lovely. I'll wait.
Go ahead, Dark and Lovely.
Okay, because you know I'm ready. First of all, you understand what I'm saying? He brought up Cointelpro. Let me give you a little bit of history when it comes to New York, okay? Haitians, Black Dominicans, all those people, ever since they came here, they have always brought drugs and violence. So if anything, they're more plugged in with Cointelpro than we are. They brought it to us. We didn't bring it to them. And that's history. Now, as far as now, Black immigrants are all over New York City federal gang indictments. So they can miss me with the Black American crime thing, okay? Please, let's stop that. No history in New York City, Guardian. And New York City abolished slavery in 1827. Most of those people, those Africans that came from Africa, they went to Canada, because common sense would tell you don't take your ass down south, not in 1827. So when you talk about lineage, there are no Black Americans in New York City right now that came from Africa, stayed here since the 1800s, and then we come from the south. Americans that you encountered after 1965, we come from the south. That's number two. Another thing too, I don't know if he is to Black, but he's in New York. It's not going to be with a bunch of white people in New York for reparations. It's going to be with Black immigrants. You understand? Because they push them out into the front. Those are the people that our senators, our city councils, and things of that sort. And guess what? If that's white supremacy pushing them to do it, they do it gladly. You understand? With no problem. That's another thing. Another thing also that I wanted to point out is that when people talk to you and say, oh, this thing is just online, this is just YouTube, this is the street. Well, guess what? You understand what I'm saying? Guess what? That's because Black Americans in the street are asleep. They don't even know that this fight that we putting up against Black immigrants, white people, and everybody else, they don't even know this fight is needed. But we are the conscious community, and we do. So therefore, we're going to continue to keep our foot on y'all neck, because y'all involved too, been involved, and that's the way it's going to go down. And I land there.
All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Stephanie.
Okay. Thanks, Newstoter. I just want to say, I really have a huge problem with the other people getting involved in our politics, because number one, it's none of your business. Number two, you can't go to certain places and volunteer to get into their politics without turning up missing. Okay, we all know that. Look what happened to Wyclef when he ran for president of Haiti, and he's a Haitian-born person, to try to involve himself in their politics. They tried to kill him. Okay, so if we were so tribal, we would have prevented you guys from trying to join our politics. And number two, the person that said that Black Americans is bombing, like Black Americans in the military are bombing other people's countries. They were bombing us before they were going to these other countries and bombing them. Okay? You got 1921 and you got 1985. Okay? Not 1921, 1985. It was a Black police chief and it was a Black mayor of Philadelphia when they bombed the Move compound. So all of this, Black Americans did it. That's out the door. Okay?
And all of this black immigrants contributed to inspired Black Americans. No, it was the other way around because we did all of this first. We did all of this first. All of our inventions, everything came from us. You were inspired by us. So all this tribalism and stuff like that, you need to practice what you preach with your own people before you try to bring it to us. There's an old-fashioned saying, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Now, if you don't know that saying, that is a very true statement. And I'm going to end it right there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Misty Engaging. We're going to have to get you around the next go around. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to be closing this space out. Guardian, I'll let you say something real quick, and then I'm going to let the co-host go ahead and then we're going to close it out for the night. But before we close it out for the night, let me say thank you to everybody who went ahead and subscribed to the channel tonight, because I think we got about 4 or 5 people to subscribe. You can still go ahead and subscribe before the space is over with. That's the third on the right-hand side. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, the Newstoter YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Also, for those that want to donate on Cash App, that's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news curation platform today in America. Once again, that is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. For those that do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. Also, tomorrow night, Space Guys, be sure to check it out, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The title of the space is A False Narrative, Black Americans Attacked Asians with Impunity. Make sure you come out, tweet that out. I'm going to go ahead and tweet that out right now. It's up in the Jumbotron on the right-hand side, the second on the right-hand side. So definitely come. Make sure you go ahead and check that space out tomorrow night. Once again, the title of that space is The False Narrative, Black Americans Attack Asians with Impunity. So make sure you guys come out and check that space out for tomorrow night. I definitely look forward to hearing everybody up in the space that was here tonight. For those that can't make it, as always, it's recorded. If you can't catch it on Twitter, you can definitely catch it on YouTube. So Guardian, go ahead. I'm gonna let you say something real quick. We don't need to hear about the 2,000 slaves that were shipped over here as well either, man. So go ahead real quick. You want to go ahead and have this space tonight, so go ahead. You got it.
Sure. Okay, so I love Black people. Guardians of greatness means guardians of Black people, okay? And I just want to say, let's try to remember that the United States government spends money on what they want to spend on, okay? They spend $29 trillion for the bank bailout right off the rip. They spend all this money to go to Ukraine, okay, off the rip, right? And so I'm just saying to you, just trying to remind us that it's not a problem with Black people, Black immigrants or anything like that, but it's the white folk who have the money and they have the power to distribute the money as they will. So let's try not to get it confused and fight among people who have the same skin color as us. That's it.
We just told us, man.
All right.
Wait a minute. I have to.
Okay. No, we don't have to do anything. We have to do what I said. Like, we're going to go ahead and let the co-hosts get it in. I'm sure they got something they want to add. They haven't said anything in a minute, so let the co-host go ahead and say something. And also let the host go ahead and add his as well, too, because everybody in the space that's in the speaker section has already spoke, if not once, twice, 3 times probably. So let's go ahead and let the co-host go ahead and get theirs in. Professor, DJ, y'all go ahead.
Yeah, next space. I know you're trying to go to sleep. Let's go. Tell the gang.
Professor, you want to add something?
Professor already sleep shit. All this tether talk gonna put him to sleep. You know what I mean?
Oh, Professor Otco. All right. Well, I see Professor. I thought Professor. I guess he done dozed off. So let me just say this real quick. Guardian, you wanted to have this space. You you hit me up about this issue here. So we went ahead and we put this together. We had a space, and a lot of our people came out. I understand what you're trying to say. I have a disagreement with you on that, but I can respectfully disagree with you. Black Americans have never, and I told you that before in the DM, Black Americans have never just gone out and attacked people. Definitely the Black community has always been open. It's always been open for not only Black immigrants, but immigrants in general, because that's the place that they always bring immigrants to in this country, is to the Black community. So You know, I have no issue. Like I say, I grew up with a number here in Florida with a number of immigrants and stuff, and we got along for the most part. Some of them we didn't get along with, you know. And as I told you earlier in the space, some of that comes from just a different culture. You know, some of their parents and stuff was talking about black people basically didn't have any culture, didn't have any home training, this and that or whatever. So, like I say, I was able to get along with a number of immigrants from Jamaica, Haiti. A number of my homeboys, you know, were from the islands, and we got along just fine or whatever. I would have to agree with people in the space say that we're talking about Tether, but at the same time, we got to, you know, you got to kind of also hold that towards your own people as well too, about the actual insults that they kick at the Black Americans about being Yankees and the Carters and Jareers and all these other negative names, baby daddies, baby mamas, welfare people, all kind of stuff, nasty stuff that said that, you know, a lot of times we don't actually hear response back from you guys as well too. So I don't have an issue. If there's somebody out there that I could that you know that's down for the black American cause, you know, I don't have an issue with them or whatever. We've had people, like you say, we've had a few people, a number of people that were actual of immigrant backgrounds that came here and actually did contribute, and they looked at themselves, and that's the problem there. A lot of times people back then looked at themselves as being black first and foremost. That's no longer the issue in a lot of cases, unfortunately. And when I grew up, it was an issue. It was people were looking at themselves as being black first, and then they kind of started going, "Well, I'm from this country, I'm from that, I'm this first, and now I'm black or whatever." So I think if we can ever get it back to that point, I think a lot of things will smooth down or whatever. But at this point in time, like you said, everybody's main mindset is on, you know, black people in this country trying to survive and make it. And we have not been able to make it and survive because of the actual weight that's been on our neck from the actual United States government from the time they had shackles on us. So we definitely expect other people that come over to the country to have our back and to stand behind us as we have always had their back and stood behind them. And I'm not talking about individual disagreements. I'm talking about as a group. You know, Black Americans have never gone out as a group and tried to harm the other groups, other Black groups. Never. Now, I'm not talking about individuals getting into fights or whatever. I'm talking about as a whole, an entire town or city. You say we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get these people straight off the boats. That was never the mindset. You know, we never was that type of people. We've always been open, so much so open a lot of times that in our own culture, when we open it up to people go ahead and end up talking about they were the one that actually created something. So, and a lot of times it's come back to bite us in the ass. So, you know, I hold no ill will to you. I know you're looking out for your people. And like I say, I don't want to see harm come to anybody. You know, I want to see Black people worldwide do what they got to do. First and foremost, we're here in the United States. We got to go ahead and take care of business. Just like we expect everybody else worldwide to take care of their business as well, too. So, like I say, I have no ill will towards anybody. I've known a number of good-hearted people from the islands, and not so much from the motherland. I haven't known a whole bunch of people from Africa like I do from the islands, being here in Florida or whatever. But you know, I've met a few that were decent people as well too. So you know, no ill will, no harm or whatever. But first and foremost, I don't think the tether thing, you know, I don't really see, because when I'm out there on the streets and stuff, most people don't even know what the hell tether means. If I was to say, do you know what a tether, they'd be looking at me like I was crazy. So I don't think it's an issue like that. We have so many more pressing issues. We just saw this 14-year-old child get killed. Every day we report news and stuff like that going on. We seen Jordan Neely get choked out in the subway. So, you know, that's not really the most pressing issue for us. We got to worry about trying to keep up with the economy and inflation that's squeezing us out, gentrification, unemployment, you name it, medical apartheid that's going on in this country, killing people left and right. Black women can't even have a child without dying and stuff like that. Our family members going to the hospital and they're being misdiagnosed and dying because of just neglect on the part of the damn medical profession. I can attest to that. My mother gone because of these dumbasses. So I could definitely attest to, there's so many different things that we have going on, man, that I would say that, you know, I think when we get rid of we'll get rid of Tether once we get rid of words like Akata and things of that nature as well too. It can't just be one-sided, and it can't just always be that Black Americans have to be the cross bearer for everybody in the actual diaspora or whatever. You know, we're gonna have to share that weight equally. And like I said, I hold no ill will to you. And as a man, you came and you spoke, and you said you want to hold something, you want to do something like this. So, you know, we went ahead, we created this space or whatever. And, you know, but anybody, I can't say how anybody else in the space is, but I wish any and everybody out there the best of luck, as long as it's not something that's going to be detrimental to me or my people or whatever. So no ill will on my part. I can definitely say that much right there. And, you know, this was a great space, and I appreciate everybody who came out, who contributed to the space, who went ahead and, you know, just intellectually went ahead and they were able to go ahead and just give their thoughts about everything that's going on. So once again, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate everybody coming up in the space. Thank you to all the co-hosts, the listeners, the speakers. Thank you to everybody that came in. Thank you to everybody who also donated as well to the program. We appreciate you guys, and I will see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So everybody be safe and have a good one. DJ said he's about to start a space up. You said that, DJ?
Oh, yeah, come on over, Tethers. You know what I'm saying? There's some of y'all Tether coons, too. It's some Tether coons up ahead, you know what I'm saying? But come on over.
All right. So on that note, y'all, we're going to end it. So everybody be safe, and we'll holler at you tomorrow.
Tether gang, Tether gang, Tether gang, Tether gang. Peace, peace.